Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from a sweltering Shuttleworth Park. This is Adam Agresta here with Justin Cohen presenting you the 2018 PGCBL Championship Series presented by KCG Development. Tonight we will see the hometown Amsterdam Mohawks, as we're in Shuttleworth Park, take on what will end up being the home team, Jamestown Jammers of the Western Division. Now, we'll get a little bit into that in a second. We currently have some introductions here, as we have some of our baseball buddies, local kids and Little League participants here on the foul line up first base, as they will be on either side of the Mohawks that will be introduced here for the PGCBL Finals Game 1, as Jamestown continues to warm up in the left field side. So we were supposed to play this game at Dietrich Park in Jamestown, New York, because Jamestown finished the season with the best record in the PGCBL. That record was 31-14, which was 2.5 games better than Amsterdam's 29-17. However, the Babe Ruth World Series for Little League Baseball is being played at Dietrich Park. So that is why we are now here in Amsterdam, and games 1 through 3, if necessary for game 3, will be played at Shuttleworth Park. However, Jamestown will get to be the home team for games 1 and, if necessary, games 3. It's a best-of-3 series, so the first team to 2 wins takes home the 2018 PGCBL Championship, as this will be a star-studded matchup, as a lot of PGCBL All-Stars and guys who have put up great numbers in this league this year are in the finals for both of these teams. Jamestown has been at the top of the West all season. They clinched the West Division title with about 10 games to go in the season. They ended up 9 games ahead of Geneva, who they took down in 3 games over the weekend to advance to the PGCBL Finals. For the Mohawks, they had to beat the Albany Dutchmen in a 1-game playoff, and then they took on the Watertown Rapids, the Central Division advancer, between a game that pitted Watertown against Mohawk Valley. Watertown beat them 3-2, advanced to face the Mohawks, who had beaten Albany 8-7. Amsterdam won the first game 7-5, the next game 12-4 in Watertown to advance to the PGCBL Finals. As the star in that series was Shane Muntz, and now I'll introduce my partner here, Justin Cohen. Justin, first off, how about Muntz in those 2 games against Watertown?
Let me tell you, Muntz was just incredible in those 2 games. He not only hit a grand slam that was the difference maker in this first game at home for the Mohawks to put them up with 7-0, that ended up becoming 7-5. But he was also a pitcher. He tossed 7 innings shutout ball that same night in Amsterdam. And then he followed that performance up with a 5 RBI night the following night in Watertown to cap it.
Yeah, so he ends up picking up 4 hits and 9 RBIs in that series, which is just incredible to see out of the Wake Forest Demon Deacon. He will be behind the plate tonight for the Mohawks. We'll check out this pitching matchup quick here for Game 1. For the Mohawks on the mound, it will be Zach Durant out of Herkimer, a 2018 PGCBL All-Star. We've seen what he can do here at Shuttleworth Park. From what we remember, we don't think he started against Jamestown in either of those games. We'll have to look back. We'll check out those stats in just a minute. But Durant on the season, in the regular season, he started 7 games, made 12 appearances, threw 41 1/3 innings, gave up 34 hits and 11 runs. Only 9 of them were earned, as he walked 20 and struck out 47. He finished the regular season 3-1 with a 1.96 ERA, good enough for 3rd in the PGCBL.
And perhaps the most important of his performances came against Albany in that sudden death win-or-go-home game, where he came in relief, actually. Zane Stevens got the start. And Zach Durant had to come in out of the bullpen to be a stopgap after Albany had scored in 3 consecutive innings. And so Durant came in, got 2 scoreless innings, and really settled down Amsterdam so that they were able to make it this far.
Yeah, as we will see Durant here in Game 1. If I had to fancy a guess tomorrow, I would expect to see Zane Stevens for Game 2. I'm not sure who we'll see on the Jamestown side. They had to go a full 3 games over the weekend, so they only got 1 rest day. I think, if anything, we might see Isaiah Moten maybe a Game 3. If anything, I'm not sure. We'll continue to kind of put out theoreticals there for Game 2. Of course, we'll play at least 2 games here at Shuttleworth Park. 1 team each will get a chance at home, being the home team, even though we'll be playing in Amsterdam this entire series. As this, like we said, this is because of Jamestown having a scheduling conflict with their park, and it's unfortunate for the league leading team because they deserve the right to host the Mohawks for games 1 and 3. But luckily, Jamestown has been good sports about this. They were fine with coming here. They'll be staying in a hotel, I'm sure, for these next couple of days. And hopefully we'll be able to see a great series out of these teams, as we have a lot of Mohawks fans here tonight as they continue to trickle in. It will be, I'm not sure what we'll see for a crowd here just because it is weekdays, Monday through Wednesday, if Game 3 happens on Wednesday. So we'll have to see. But if you get a chance, if you aren't able to make it here tonight, if you come in wearing Little League attire at all, if you have any kids with Little League attire and they come to the game with it, you get a free family admission, which is up to 4 people. And I believe that comes with a hot dog deal too. So if you get a chance, come out to Shuttleworth Park, see some great baseball between these 2 teams, as we currently have some announcements being made. In other Mohawks news, a 2013 Amsterdam Mohawk, Trey Winginter, in the San Diego Padres organization, got called up to the Major League San Diego Padres yesterday. That is currently the 3rd player in the majors, the 4th one that we've seen this year, as Amsterdam continues to produce Major League ball players. What do you have to say about that, Justin?
Yeah, Trey Winginter coming up from El Paso into San Diego had been coming off of back-to-back saves, their scoreless outings, and he actually has only let up 2 runs since July 12th, I'm pretty sure. So he's gone over a month. He's only given up 2 runs out of, I think it was 15 appearances. So he's been on fire lately, and I'm sure San Diego wants to see what they have in Trey, who's been fantastic for them with a right around 3 ERA for them in AAA.
Yeah, San Diego probably, as a Major League Ball club, is still a player or 2 away from really making that playoff push in that talented NL West division. NL West division. But hopefully Trey will be able to have a positive impact on that bullpen, and we'll see how we'll do as that. Now he joins a long line of great San Diego closers, Trevor Hoffman, Heath Bell. Well, so that'll be exciting to see. Also, former local that played in the San Diego organization, Tim Stauffer, out of Saratoga Springs. So we've seen 518 people in the San Diego Padres organization before, and I wouldn't be surprised if we'd see players from either of these teams play in not only the Padres organization but other organizations within the MLB, as I would certainly expect a few of these guys on either of these teams to be drafted. We'll just have to wait and see in the coming years.
And speaking of local kids, it doesn't hurt to mention Matt Gage from Amsterdam was recently signed by the Binghamton Rumble Ponies of the New York Mets.
Yeah, the Mets re-signed him. He was cut in AAA, and it's good to see him back with an organization. He actually brought up in Perth High School, so that's his local connection. And Gage played here in 2012 with the Mohawks, I believe 2011 and 2012. So congratulations to Matt. As we will, it looks like we had our start time pushed back a little bit. It is currently 6:42. We don't expect to have a first pitch until 6:45. As Jamestown continues to warm up, Mohawks are huddled. As another thing to point out for longtime Mohawks fans, this is a regular occurrence, as Coach Keith Griffin always has to head home in early August because he has a job for a community college coaching in Florida, home in Pensacola. So unfortunately, Coach Keith Griffin will not be with the Mohawks this series, as Coach Doug O'Bray takes over kind of the head coaching duties. So congratulations to Coach Doug. And thank you, Coach Keith Griffin, once again for a wonderful season here at the Mohawks, as he's completed 10 years with Amsterdam. He has amassed over I believe in his career, I think they ended up counting that he has over 1,000 wins. He's actually got that last season. I remember that game happening. I think it might have been over Albany, but it's always sad to see Griff go. But I'm sure these players want to make him proud and show that their hard work over these past few months hasn't gone to waste. A lot of these guys have had great seasons. A couple to point out for Amsterdam. Michael Ludwig out of Wake Forest hit .338 in the regular season. So did Richie Burrell out of Manhattan. Both of those guys have been great hitters at the plate, plus fielders. Mike has power. We've seen Shane Muntz light it up here in the playoffs, but also during the season he hit .337 in, I believe, 102 at-bats. So that is also awesome to see, as it was actually 101 at-bats for Muntz. And also, we always love talking about the Mississippi State boys that came here. Or it ended up being late, right in the beginning of July. Tanner Allen and Justin Foscue, both of those guys have come on, and Allen has hit .323 as Foscue hit .304. That was in the regular season for both guys in 17 games. As we will have our player introductions here at Shuttleworth Park. For Jamestown, we'll kind of take a look now at the other side, as I don't think we have any Jamestown media here tonight. I mean, it was going to be a long trek. We were wondering if we would even make it for game one if we had to head out to Dietrich Park for this. So we lucked out in being able to present you this game here, as it will present you definitely games 1 and game 2 and then game 3 if necessary. So for everyone in Jamestown who's tuning in right now, thank you, as we will do our best to cover this full game. As we have the Jamestown Jammers introductions, we'll talk a little bit about their PGCBL semifinal series. First off, they took down Geneva in 3 games. They needed 3. They won the first game 3-2. Brandon Nania out of Winston-Salem State University had a walk-off RBI single in the 9th, and he ended up getting the semifinal Most Outstanding Player award. He ended up with he has a playoff on-base percentage of .571, which is just outrageous. And also in the decisive game 3 in that series against Geneva, he went 2 for 3. He had 3 runs scored and an RBI on Saturday as they took down Geneva, after Geneva ended up actually putting up a lot of runs against, I believe it might have been Isaiah Moten in game 2, but Jamestown did bounce back, win game 3 over their West Division foe. And also for the Jammers, I would like to point out Jeff Timko, who, just like Shane Muntz, I believe, in game 3 for the Jammers, he had 5 RBIs. As he had an RBI single, he had a 3-run triple. Brett Migliori had an RBI single. Yeah, Timko actually had 6 RBIs in that game. So, as I just have that set up there, is Jeff Timko, who is in the lineup in left field tonight. Nania is at first base. And this Jamestown team, we only saw them once here at Shuttleworth Park. They took down the Mohawks 8-2. The Mohawks did travel for a game to Jamestown. I think we won 8-6 there in that contest.
We did end up winning that one. And something of note here in that Geneva series for Jamestown, they didn't hit a single home run. So they're not a power team. I'm not sure about how far it is to, right or left field for
Dietrich Park
or Newark.
As actually, yeah, that was actually played in Newark.
Or in Geneva. But that being said, 0 home runs for the number 1 overall team in the league. They had a decent offense this year and a pretty good pitching staff, but nothing that really stands out.
Yeah, they have a run per game average of 6.67, which is good enough for 4th in the league. But their average is 8th in the league with a 270 clip as a team. I think that's mainly because just there's a certain drop-off in their stats when you look at all of their player, I guess you can say all of their roster, all the guys who have hit for them this year. And I would probably say that one of the main things that you notice when you watch this Jamestown team is that they walk a lot, they don't strike out a lot, they steal a lot of bases. They're first in stolen bases in the league with 118. And also their pitching is very quality. As long as they get to that 6-run per game differential, if they're able to put 6 or 7 runs up on you, it's very hard to match that against this quality pitching staff, as their ERA was 4.34 as a squad, good enough for third in the PGCBL, and the opponent batting average was only 257. Now, luckily for Amsterdam, they do have a counter to that, as they have the best pitching staff in the league. Their ERA is 3.79 as a squad, and I think they might be the only team that finished the regular season under 4 as a team. I'd have to look that up. There might be one other team. And then their opponent batting average was only 220, so that's kind of outrageous as an entire pitching staff, as you have so many different guys coming in and making those, not only those appearances, but you have guys throwing multiple innings in those appearances, just trying to face off against other batters. Both of these teams also, to point out, they're both top 3 in the league in fielding percentage, so they certainly work on fundamentals. When you watch both of these teams warm up, they're very organized. They're in summer league baseball. It sometimes is noticeable that guys don't really care. They don't really put in the full effort that you might want to in your preparation, but both of these teams certainly care about not only trying to succeed and win this series, but also to, of course, better themselves and improve, so that way when they get back to their colleges, they can show that they took not only a step forward, but they took a leap forward in their progression as a baseball player. As we have our Mohawks coaching staff being introduced here, Doug O'Bray, pitching coach Greg Cristodulo, Austin Cozino out of Mississippi State. I don't think he's here tonight. As we will now go over the starting lineups for the 2 PGCBL finals teams here. First, for the hometown, should I say, or home team, Jamestown Jammers.
Yes.
Batting first, the shortstop from Mercyhurst College, number 1, Alex O'Donnell. Batting second, the third baseman, headed to Vanderbilt in the fall from La Jolla, California, number 10, Sterling Hayes. Batting third, the center fielder out of the University of Texas, San Antonio, number 13, Chase King. Batting cleanup, the first baseman out of Winston-Salem State University, number 17, Brandon Nania. Batting fifth, the left fielder out of Eastern Michigan University, number 11, Jeff Timko. Batting sixth, the right fielder out of University of California, Irvine, number 22, Dalen Lee. Batting seventh, the catcher out of St. Louis College, number 12, Ben Lavorsi. Batting eighth, the designated hitter from Wofford University, number 6, Chris Rubottom. And batting ninth, the second baseman from Canisius College, number 16, Brett Migliori. On the mound for the Jammers will be Connor Ryan. Ryan is out of Mercyhurst College, teammates with Alex O'Donnell, the leadoff hitter for Jamestown. As we continue our Mohawks reserves introductions here, we'll now go over the starting lineup for the Amsterdam Mohawks. Batting first, the center fielder from St. John's University, number 6, Mike Antico. Batting second, the first baseman from Manhattan College, number 20, Richie Barella. Batting third, the right fielder from Wake Forest University, number 33, Michael Ludwig. Batting cleanup, the second baseman from Mississippi State, number 3, Tanner Allen. Batting fifth, the catcher from Wake Forest University, number 39, Shane Muntz. Batting sixth, the designated hitter from the University of South Florida, number 31, Joe Genord. Batting seventh, the third baseman from Mississippi State, number 25, Justin Foscue. Batting eighth, the left fielder from Morehead State College, number 14, Jake Hammond. And batting ninth, the shortstop from Marshall University, number 1, Elvis Peralta Jr. As the starter on the mound, we mentioned before, will be Zach Durant out of Herkimer for the Mohawks, number 38. Zach has a PGCBL All-Star nod, as does for the Mohawks Richie Barella, Elvis Peralta Jr., and Ryan McLinsky, who I got news is not here tonight, unfortunately. So Ryan will not be available for Amsterdam, as we currently have the Mohawks starters being introduced here. As we mentioned, it is a sweltering night at Shuttleworth. Probably the temperatures right now in the high 80s still, but hopefully that will cool down into the 70s soon enough with the sun setting.
Yeah, the wonderful thing about upstate New York is that even though it's in the mid-80s, it feels like 95, 100 degrees.
Yeah.
The humidity here is unbearable.
Yeah, it says it's currently 93 still, which is crazy. They say by 10 o'clock it should only be 82, so
awesome.
We actually won't get below 80, it seems like, for this game. So that will be something to keep an eye on. Both teams will have to stay hydrated, make sure to not try and cramp up here, keep everything loose. As let's take a quick look into the Mohawks season this year. They started off kind of slow. They ended up only going a couple of games over 500 in June, actually. But once they acquired a couple of their pitchers back, Zane Stevens came back after an early suspension. They ended up getting the 2 Mississippi State position players in Foscue and Allen, and that kind of turned their season around at the plate, as before that, as an offense, they weren't really doing well. It was kind of stalling, but now they're up to 5th in the league in runs scored with a 6.13 clip, and they're hitting .284, which is good enough for 4th in the PGCBL. As everyone will stand here for the national anthem presented by the Amsterdam PBA and GAVAC. Beautiful rendition of the national anthem there by Courtney Glorioso, who has done the national anthem here a few times this season. Thank you to her. As we check out playoff stats, year so far for Amsterdam, leading them in batting averages. Richie Borelli's 4 for 9 with 5 runs scored to go with 5 walks, as his on-base percentage is 9 for 14. So that's in the 650s range. So that's not bad. And of course, the playoffs for the Mohawks have only been 3 games, with the Jamestown Jammers 4. So that kind of gives you a slight difference in numbers.
Jammers have 3 playoff games played.
Oh, excuse me,
yeah,
3 actually. Yeah, because they did so.
Same number of games.
So same number of games, as I misspoke. Thank you, Justin.
Yep.
And also a couple of guys to watch. Joe Genord in the DH spot. He's kind of switched between him and Shane Muntz at catcher when Shane has to go out and pitch, as he did in a beautiful Game 1 of the PGCBL semifinals between the Mohawks and the Rapids. As
yeah, for those of you Jamestown fans that are joining us for the first time, Joe Genord is the Mohawks Babe Ruth. He leads the team in home runs all time, leads the team in all-time RBI. So Joe Genord DHing for us tonight is one of our top all-time players.
yes, and he can certainly be described as the most prolific hitter in Mohawks history out of the University of South Florida. He gave up signing a professional contract as he was drafted this past year, but he gave up us going into pro ball so that way he could return to South Florida for his senior season and play with the Mohawks this summer, as he has done phenomenal. He has 15 homers in his career, which is good enough, and that doesn't include the 2 that he hit in the first game of the playoffs, as those don't count into the overall regular season stats. But he's done very well. Mike Antico also to mention, he I believe went 2 for 4 with 2 walks, or a walk and a hit by pitch on Friday for Amsterdam in that leadoff spot, which is certainly a huge place to watch for Amsterdam, because Antico during the season has done very well with his on-base percentage. He leads the league, or not the league, excuse me, the team in stolen bases, but at times he has had struggles with batting average, so he doesn't always hit at a high clip, but he always seems to get on at least once a game. It's almost like when you let him on, it's almost like an automatic double, just because of his speed and what he puts into your kind, as we currently have 4 umpires here at Shuttleworth Park, which is kind of unprecedented. Of course, we see in the PGCBL Championship every year, but after some questionable calls, of course, here in Summer League ball this year, it's nice and refreshing to see. So I'm sure we'll have an accurately kept game today, as we will actually see the Jamestown Jammers take the field first, which is, for what I know, I'll have to ask Mohawks stat man and all-around just guru of Amsterdam, John Sargalis, but from what I know, the what?
That's got to be a first, right?
Yeah, it's got to be a first, right? The Mohawks not taking the field first and batting, they will be leading off the game at Shuttleworth Park. So, and we might see that twice happen if we have to play a Game 3 here. We have yet to know that, but it seems like Jamestown is pumped up after their long bus ride out here. Amsterdam is raring to get started. We actually have the Jammers also in their home whites with the blue and neon green detailing, and then the Mohawks are in their away black uniforms with white and red stripes across the numbers and front, and they kind of resemble the Ottawa Senators. Second alternate is the best way I can describe that, as the Jamestown Jammers take the field here to warm up for the top of the first of the PGCBL Championships presented by KCG Development. We'll take a quick break here, but we'll be back before first pitch. You're listening to the 2018 PGCBL Finals Game 1 here on the Amsterdam Mohawks Broadcast Network. Welcome back to the Amsterdam Mohawks Broadcast Network here on YouTube Live as we bring you Game 1 of the PGCBL Finals here at Shuttleworth Park between the Jamestown Jammers and Amsterdam Mohawks. We'll try and remind everyone as we go, but it is hometown Jamestown, or excuse me, home team. I'll have to correct myself multiple times once I finally get that down.
It's certainly a unique, something that you'd never see anywhere. But I guess with the field conflicts, this was the best way to do it. And honestly, probably nicer for both teams than going away to a neutral site like Newark or somewhere else.
As Connor Ryan, the starter out of Mercyhurst College for Jamestown, finishes his first pitches, as we'll have Mike Antico step into the box to lead off Game 1 here. Ryan on the mound has not appeared in the playoffs yet in 2018 for Jamestown, but in the regular season, he had 10 appearances total, 4 starts. He threw 34 and 2/3 innings, gave up 36 hits and 20 runs. 17 of them were earned, but he only walked 9 and struck out 39, as he was 2-1 with a 4.41 ERA. As Mike Antico steps into the left-handed batter's box to lead off for the Amsterdam Mohawks. As the first pitch from Ryan bounces low and away, and we are underway here at Shuttleworth Park as Amsterdam looks to add another piece of hardware to their trophy case in a league where they've seen themselves win 4 of the 7 titles given out. The other 3 were 2 to Mohawk Valley, who won last year's 2017 championship over Jamestown in just 2, up sweeping the Jammers as that curveball sits high. It's 2-0 now to Antico. But an interesting thing to point out, though, is that Jamestown, as a PGCBL franchise, actually is only 2 years old. So both of their seasons, they've made the PGCBL finals. So first off, that's very impressive. Congrats to any Jamestown Jammers parents that are listening. These guys have been very impressive in the West Division, as that one will be ground to second base as Migliori fields that one on to Nani at first, and that will get Antico for the first out.
Yeah, and Ryan having such a low walk count shouldn't really bother the Mohawks all that much. They don't really rely on the walk. They're so aggressive at the plate generally, thanks to Coach Keith Griffin, that we don't draw a lot of walks in general. So it shouldn't really change the offensive game plan at all for us.
I'd agree with you there, is that it's just more of the same for Amsterdam, more of what they've been preaching. As one of the guys who's really bought into that is Richie Burrell at the plate for Amsterdam out of Manhattan College, as now we will see Jamestown's head coach come out to talk to Connor Ryan, who seems a little distraught. Maybe he felt something in his arm. That certainly isn't something we want to see right now, as Coach Doug O'Bray will get with Richie Burrell as well to talk this over. And the home plate umpire is out there talking with Ryan and the catcher, Ben Lavorsi. And it looks like we'll be okay. The Mohawks trainer, Carla, comes out. She's done, I will say, if we haven't given her enough props, Carla has done a phenomenal job for Amsterdam this season. They've had a ton of different, just minor injuries that have happened. Unfortunately, she hasn't been able to control all of them. We had a scary injury to Jake Hammond and Albany earlier this season, and she has been awesome the whole step of the way with her training staff from St. Mary's Healthcare. So thank you once again to all of them. You have made sure that all of the Mohawks have been safe this season, and stuff like that is priceless, being able to get these guys out of here without any extended injuries or anything like that as they try to get some reps here in upstate New York, as Richie Barella will finally bat against Ryan here. First pitch into Richie as a curveball catches the outside corner, 0-1. We've had a bit of breeze here at Shuttleworth. We don't always, actually really not at all usually, but sometimes it whips through the grandstand here, and we'll see the flag. I saw it earlier blowing from left to right, so that may help some lefties here if it picks up again, as that off-speed pitch misses low. It'll be 1-1.
And lefties in general here, even with the short porch, the Wasserman Foundation sky deck out there, the short porch in right field, we haven't seen lefties dominate and utilize that right field wall all that much. It seems like most of our home runs this season have gone over left field.
As that curveball sits high, it's 2-1 now. To kind of now, unfortunately, we haven't been able to see Jamestown that much this year. We only saw them one game here at Shuttleworth, but Connor Ryan on the mound, you can see him throw a lot of off-speed pitches, and I think a lot of his success comes out of being able to locate his changeup and that big 12-6 curve, as that one misses in the dirt. And he's fallen behind 3-1 here to Barella. As one of the big things in big games for pitchers that plagues them is that they kind of hold the ball too hard at first and may have a wild first inning, but then they usually tend to settle down, and we'll see how that will affect the starter Ryan here for Jamestown, and of course Durant. And even though he's the home pitcher here, he has to pitch like he's away as he starts second. As that one misses low and inside, and Richie Barella is on with a one-out walk here in the top of the first.
So he's now 10 for 15 in the on base 10 times out of his 15 times at the plate. So that's a .667 on base percentage, fantastic. And we still see Zach Durant warming up in the bullpen right now, just trying to stay loose before he comes out for his first pitch tonight.
Yeah, as when you're in Shuttleworth, I'm sure he's very used to being able to get the first pitch jitters out of the way right after the Mohawks run on, but now he has to wait and see if his team can help him out at first before he's able to take the mound and toe the rubber. As Michael Ludwig out of Wake Forest will bat here with one out and one on. That curveball, it catches the inside corner. It'll be 0-1. Ludwig finished the season tied with Richie Barella for the team lead in batting average, both hitting .338. Michael at the plate also hit for power as he had 7 doubles and 3 home runs to go along with 31 RBIs, as well as 24 walks, which actually led the team. As we thought at first, we made the prediction that Sam Prater would lead the team in walks, but unfortunately he had to leave early in the season due to a concussion as Richie Barella's checked at first, but he gets back there safely. So Michael Ludwig, as a dark horse candidate, has now taken that, as he's proven to be, for the Mohawks this season, the most patient player at the plate, it seems like.
And I believe with 50 hits, he also led the team in hits. So
overall his
hits and walks.
And his on-base percentage, that means, is automatically the highest too. As that off-speed pitch is fouled, as Ludwig pulls that one down the first base line. It's 0-2 here to the Wake Forest Demon Deacon. On deck is the lefty Tanner Allen out of Mississippi State. As we've seen Tanner absolutely rake. He had a 3-run triple in the first playoff game for Amsterdam against Albany, which at the time put them up 7-0. They ended up relinquishing that lead, but they won the game 9-8 in the 9th inning as Jake Hammond came home to score on a wild pitch. Another check of Richie Barella at first. He slides now, but he's back in safely.
Ludwig is still looking for that first playoff hit. He's in a bit of a slump here as he is 0 for his first 12 in the playoffs. But it says he has 5 runs scored, so I'm guessing those stats are slightly off. As the website may be on the fritz a little bit, but
I will say though, he's 0 for 12, but I know he's reached base at least a few times, at least in the couple of times in Game 1 of Watertown. Once again, Barella's checked at first, but he's back in safely as Ryan is paying close attention to the Manhattan Jasper.
He has a walk and a couple of hit-by pitches that I see right now, so also tacking on a stolen base. But he was on quite the hitting streak to end the regular season. Just since getting into this postseason, been in a little bit of a slump, but it's hard to call it a real slump after only 3 games. So,
as Barella has 8 stolen bases in the regular season, he was 8 for 9. The 0-2 to Ludwig misses high.
So we finally get that third pitch for the at-bat after multiple checks of Barella.
Yeah, 3 straight checks of Barella. And the 0-2 misses high and away, as we've seen a lot of the curveball early on from Ryan. And I wouldn't be surprised if he stays with that, as Amsterdam has hit the fastball rather well, at least in most of their lineup. But we'll say that's not for everyone. But that curveball misses and goes all the way to the backstop. And we will see Barella head down to second here, as he is now in scoring position with 1 out and a 2-2 count to Ludwig.
So Ludwig on his way back, battling back from 0-2 down. Getting these base runners early, racking up the pitch count, could prove to be huge. If Amsterdam can get to the Jamestown bullpen early, it sort of puts them at a disadvantage for the next game or maybe 2 games.
Michael Ludwig in the last game of the season as well had a 23 hit game streak snapped, so he may have struggled over his past about 4 games. He doesn't have a hit, as we now see Ryan step off. As Barella was dancing away from second, there was no one close there, as the second baseman Migliori and the shortstop O'Donnell weren't even covering, so I don't know why Ryan would have stepped off there. As he now resets, Ludwig in the box. But Micah certainly, he had a phenomenal second half for Amsterdam after joining the team about 4 games in, I believe. The 2-2. That curveball is lifted high in the air to center field. Chase King coming on as the shortstop comes out. Now it'll be the left fielder, Timko, to make the catch for the second out, as there's a bit of a Bermuda Triangle there. But Timko was able to squeeze it for out number 2. That'll bring up Tanner Allen.
And Allen only played 17 regular season games for the Mohawks, along with Justin Foscucci and Allen arrived at the same time. But both have been here and been in the lineup consistently ever since they have gotten here.
Yes, they have been quite the catalyst in the middle of the lineup for Amsterdam. Foscucci's batting 7th, but I think that's just because the Mohawks have won every playoff game they've played, and so they've used the same exact lineup, regardless of whether or not Shane Muntz is pitching, as well as that curveball misses high to Allen here, 1-0. Tanner Allen is also not the best guy to be throwing as a righty, who is mostly, I guess you could call Ryan a junk baller because he doesn't have a huge velocity on his fastball. But when you're throwing low and slow to Allen, he can kind of hurt you going the other way, as that one is pulled foul, and it'll be 1-1. As we'll have to see if he hangs a curveball on the outside, if Tanner Allen is able to take advantage of it. But I will say, I'm surprised we haven't gotten a swing and miss out of Ryan yet in this first inning, as he had 39 strikeouts and 34 2/3 innings pitched. So a very good ratio there, over 9 per 9 innings.
I think that's part of it. The Mohawks are just swinging so often that they're putting. I mean, we do have Richie Barella's walk, but we're trying to put the bat on the ball as much as possible.
As that curveball is fouled right back to the backstop by Allen, and it is 1-2.
If you can prevent those strikeouts that are just useless outs, compared to at least putting it out in right or left field, maybe advancing a runner, something like that, that's a lot better for the Mohawks as a team. So they'll look to make as much contact as possible. A little trickier here with 1-2, 2 outs, but
as it will be 1-2 here to Allen. The pitch, that curveball is popped high in the air. The shortstop Alex O'Donnell making the call for it, and will squeeze it for the third out at the top of the first. As the Mohawks get one on base, as Richie Barella walks and makes it to second, but he is stranded there, as there were no runs on no hits, no errors, 1 left on. We will head to the bottom of the first here at Shuttleworth Park. The score, the Amsterdam Mohawks 0 and the Jamestown Jammers coming to bat. You are listening to Game 1 of the PGCBL Finals, presented by KCG Development. Alex O'Donnell, the shortstop who caught the final out of the top of the first, will lead off the bottom of the first here against Zach Durant. O'Donnell is out of Mercyhurst College, as he has been a staple in the infield of Jamestown all year.
So that first one was inside for a ball. So we want to know.
The 1-0 here from Durant. That one's popped up into shallow right field. Michael Ludwig coming on, and he will make a diving catch, as that will be the first out. As I wasn't sure at first that we do have an umpire down the line there, as we had a first base umpire, and he was in good position to make the call. And Michael Ludwig makes a nice little sliding catch there for the first out.
Yeah, that was by far not the prettiest catch we've seen Ludwig make all season, but got the job done, and thank goodness that the umpire was right there to make the right call, because if we had just two umpires, that might have been called incorrectly.
Yeah, that would have been a hard call to make as a second base umpire. As the first pitch here into Sterling Hayes misses high, it'll be 1-0 to the third baseman. Hayes in the regular season for Jamestown hit only .225, 23 for 102. He made appearances in 35 games. That one is in there for a strike. It's 1-1 now to Hayes as the 1-1, as that one will be ripped to shortstop. Elvis Peralta takes on two hops, throws on to Barella at first, and that pitch throw is high, but Barella is able to get the tag down on Hayes for the second out. As Peralta might have been a little too loosey-goosey with that first throw, might have squeezed it a little too hard, of course, when you get your first ball hit to you. But Barella makes a nice play at first for the second out. That'll bring up Chase King. King is out of UTSA, which is University of Texas San Antonio, the Roadrunners. Meet Meet.
Great name.
As we play Meet Meet every time a Mohawks player actually steals a base here at Shuttleworth, as that off-speed pitch is in there for a called strike 0-1. Also, King, I believe, led the league in triples with 7. We'll have to look at that, as that one is ripped foul right over the third base dugout. It'll be 0-2 now to King.
King so far this postseason is 2 for 13, but both of his hits are doubles. So productive when he does make contact and get on base.
That comes after he hit .297 with 46 hits in the regular season. That pitch is fouled off once again by King as he stays alive here against Durant. Durant led the Mohawks in strikeouts in the regular season with 47. If Peyton Plumlee had played a full season, I would have expected him to probably lead us, as he would have gotten more starts, but he ended up getting cut off at 43, I believe, as that one is in the dirt. And actually, 37, as he finished 10 behind Durant. He'll be 1-2 here.
But he probably left about 5 weeks into the season or so he could have had 4 or 5 more starts and been put the Amsterdam Mohawks top 10 list on notice there for strikeouts in the regular season.
Yeah, he probably would have broken the record. As that one is lifted into left center field, Jake Hammond is back at the wall, but he has enough room to make the catch, as Zach Durant has himself a 1-2-3 inning here against Jamestown, as the Mohawks match Jamestown in the field. Your score after 1 inning here at Shuttleworth Park, 0-0 between Jamestown and Amsterdam. You are listening to Game 1 of the PGCBL Finals, presented by KCG Development. Shane Muntz will lead off the top of the second inning here at Shuttleworth Park. I got the first one right here. We'll see how many times I get that wrong, saying bottom of the inning for Amsterdam, as they are the away team here in Game 1. As he actually comes in, that was interesting. Shane Muntz, the entire season, had Classic Rock as his walk-up song. I think maybe Sticks. And he now came up to a Travis Scott song off of his new album, Astroworld. First pitch into Muntz, misses high, 1-0.
Perhaps the team got to him. He's listening to some different music as he's hitting the rest of the season. Yeah, as we see a wide array of different tunes appreciated by Amsterdam this season, a lot of rap, as that curveball misses inside once again. It is 2-0 here to Muntz, who won the PGCBL semifinal most valuable player for the Watertown-Amsterdam series. He ended up with 4 hits and 9 RBIs in 2 games. As that one is ripped high and deep into left field. The left fielder, Timko, going back, and he will watch it sail over the wall as Shane Muntz gives the Mohawks an early 1-0 lead here in the top of the first. As Amsterdam may be the away team, but they get the cheers just like they're home. As Shane continues his hot playoffs. He now has 2 home runs on the season, 2 home runs in the postseason, and a triple, oddly enough.
So he has 3 extra base hits as Joe Genord steps up. He has 2 home runs already in the playoffs, both in the first round matchup against the Albany Dutchman. As the first pitch into Genord misses high, it'll be 1-0. As Muntz took that one for a ride, excuse me, as I can't even speak. Muntz really jumped on that one, I guess. Changing up the walk-up song worked and kept him on his wing ways. That curveball catches the inside corner, and that'll leave it at 1-1. Genord seemed a little annoyed by that.
That was interesting where it landed. I'm not sure if you can see it if that column cuts it off, but there's a cutout in left center field where it goes from 3 ads high to 2 ads high, and I think it hit right there.
As that one is ripped high and deep to left field, and that will be gone. A home run as we have to wait for the third base umpire. Back-to-back home runs from Shane Muntz and Joe Genord. The Mohawks are up 2-0. Joe Genord, I don't think I've ever seen a more savage player in Summer League ball, as not only is he increasing his reputation as the Mohawks' best hitter of all time, but that one went about 30 feet over the left field wall, which is about 15 feet tall as it is, at least. As that'll bring up Justin Foscue, the third baseman at Mississippi State College. The Bulldog has...
The only downside there for Joe Genord is that Shane Muntz, who's been hitting ahead of him all season.
As that one is popped into right field straight away, Lee backs up a little bit and makes the catch for the first out.
So Joe Genord's been hitting behind Shane Muntz this postseason, and Shane Muntz has been getting all of the RBIs. So Joe Genord hitting well, but unable to rack up the RBI count. Yeah, geez,
he only has 86 in his career, first overall in Amsterdam history, as that'll bring up the 8-hitter Jake Hammond out of Morehead State College.
He's also only at 5 through 3 games and 2 innings.
As that one is ripped into center field. Now King has to come on, and he won't get it, as that'll drop in for a base hit, and Jake Hammond continues his second half of success here in Amsterdam, as he came on with the Mohawks early on and had a little bit of issue at the plate. He was only hitting about 200, has since now bounced back. And we also were told in the comments, we didn't even realize this, we never had a conversation with Jake about this, he played for the Jamestown Jammers last year. And so this is a huge series for him, as he can now, on a team where he made the finals last season, he can now try and get that ring after getting back to the finals. As Elvis Peralta Jr. will bat here with 1 out and 1 on. Peralta grounds that one to second. Migliori has to wait for Hammond to pass him, and he will get the out at first as Hammond heads down to second base. And he shook hands with Alex O'Donnell, the shortstop who was on Jamestown last year out of Mercyhurst, so that was funny to see. And we'll probably see that a little bit more out of Hammond tonight, as the leadoff hitter Mike Antico will come back to the plate here with 2 outs and a runner on second. Antico grounded to second in his first at-bat, 0 for 1. First pitch to the St. John's Red Storm center fielder is a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. That pitch looked a little low, but we might just see a low strike zone out of our home plate umpire today.
As Mike's really been using this clean slate to start off the postseason, been on a much hotter stretch than the way he ended it.
Yeah, he has 5 hits over 3 games in the playoffs entering today, to go along with, I believe, at least 2 stolen bases. As that one was in the dirt, nice stop there from Livorsi, and it's 1-1. Hammond with quality speed at second base, so you can expect on a base hit him to at least have a chance to score. As you wouldn't expect him to steal, of course, here with 2 outs, but you never know. With the Mohawks, they're a little bit more on the wild card side with the decisions when Griff is still here. He kind of pushes the boundaries. I think O'Bray's a little bit more conservative in the limited head coaching I've seen him in, as that curveball misses low and inside, 2-1. But that, of course, doesn't mean that he won't send guys all night if he thinks that it gives the Mohawks a better chance to win.
Yeah, he's sitting there at third base just like our head coach, Coach Griffin, was during the regular season and the early parts of this postseason. But with Mike Antico, who's a lefty up at the plate, there's not that protection of a right-handed batter throwing it down to third base. So I doubt we'll see anything this time, but always a possibility.
As they check Hammond at second as the ball almost is thrown away by Ryan into center field. That was a nice job by O'Donnell there, sneaking over to the second base bag from his shortstop hole. And if Ryan had spotted him earlier, he would have had Hammond as he was caught off base, probably about 6 feet off. But Hammond now will probably take a slightly more conservative lead here with a 2-1 count on Antico and 2 outs. Mike out of Colts Neck, New Jersey, looking to plate the 3rd run of the inning for the Mohawks. The 2-1. That one is flown into left center field. King coming on, and he will give way to the left fielder, Timko, who makes the catch to retire the side. But not before Amsterdam takes a 2-0 lead here on back-to-back solo home runs from Shane Muntz and Joe Genord. We've said that I don't think we've said back-to-back home runs this season, but we've certainly said home runs from both of those guys. As 2 runs were scored on 3 hits, no errors in the inning, 1 left on. Your score after 1.5 innings, the Amsterdam Mohawks 2, the Jamestown Jammers 0. You're listening to Game 1 of the PGCBL Finals, presented by KCG Development. The first baseman, Brandon Nania, will lead off the bottom of the 2nd inning here at Shuttleworth Park, as the Mohawks took a 2-0 lead in the top half of the inning on 2 solo home runs from both of their catchers on the roster right now. Right now, the 3rd catcher would probably be either Nick DeBrino or Ben Rhodes, who are both pitchers/utility men. As the first pitch here from Durant to Nania is on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Nania in the regular season hit .291, 43 for 148. He had 27 runs scored in 33 RBIs, which is first on the Jammers, as that one misses low and inside, 1-1. Also, Nania did win the most outstanding player for the PGCBL semifinal series between Geneva and Jamestown. As that pitch catches the outside corner, it'll be 1-2 here to the first baseman out of Winston-Salem State University. Nania, in game 1 of that series, had a walk-off single. As that one is fouled off right to the backstop. He was right on that one, but just got under it. It'll be 1-2 still. And also his playoff on-base percentage in that series was .571. We mentioned that before. He went 4 for 10, scoring 4 runs, and he drove in 3. He reached base 8 times in the 3 games as that curveball misses inside, almost hits Nania, but he dives out of the way. Evens at 2-2. And the 2-2 from Durant misses way outside. That'll run the count full to the first baseman for Jamestown. And we've mentioned that the Jammers don't hit a lot of home runs. Nania on the season had 3, which is actually good enough for tie for second on the team with Sterling Hayes. The leader has 4 as that one misses outside. And Nania is on with a leadoff walk here in the second. That'll bring up Jeff Timko. Timko is the left fielder out of Eastern Michigan University. The Eastern Michigan Eagle was will be a sophomore actually in the fall. Out of Rochester Hills, Michigan. Timko had himself quite the game 3 for Jamestown. As that one is in there for a called strike. He got away from Muntz, but he quickly snaps on top of it. And it's 0-1 here. As Timko, playing left field tonight, had 6 RBIs in game 3, which is even more than Shane Muntz. We thought Shane Muntz was impressive with his 5, as that one misses inside, evens at 1-1. Timko in the regular season he unfortunately didn't qualify. He only played 19 games for Jamestown. He hit 22 for 63, which is good enough for a .349 batting average. The 1-1 is grounded down to third base. Foscue throws the second onto first, and they will get the double play. As now they call a definite out at first, as it looked like there was a bad slide in there to Tanner Allen, who is now running off the field over to Carla, and he looks really, I think he's running off because he does not want to try and get into a fight with Brandon Nania right now, as I think he's furious, as that was, right now, there's a lot of talk going around baseball over the past few seasons after the slide by Chase Utley into Ruben Tejada in the 2015 playoffs in the MLB. And it doesn't look like Allen is okay here. That did not look good. He was trying to bounce off the field so that way he would get to the sideline. As the Southern gentleman, he is not trying to hold off the game, but I really hope that this isn't anything serious, as Nania came in there barreling hard. He's a big guy, first baseman for Jamestown. Nania, the guy who slid in on that play, is listed at 5'10", 210. I think he's a little bigger than that. But it'll be interesting to see how Amsterdam responds here after that play. But it was going to be a close play at first, but Tanner Allen made the turn.
Yeah, I was honestly surprised he made the turn in time. It didn't look like he had enough of a turn available to him as he gets up and is walking towards second base now.
Yeah, it looks like he'll be okay, and now he's just saying that he might have just gotten cleated then, as I'm glad he's okay here. That looked like it was going to be a lot more serious.
Yeah, we've seen broken ankles, broken knees, but he'll just stroll back onto second and see if he can't give them some payback in the bottom of this inning.
Yeah, that will be
the top of
it will actually be the top of the third. Yeah, usually we say that the Mohawks will come up in the bottom of the inning. They won't, but good to see Tanner Allen is okay. I probably wouldn't, me saying that Nania was trying to knock him out of the play or anything like that may just be a little assumptuous. I don't want to say that he was certainly trying to hurt him or anything, but he probably could have slid a little bit safer in there. It's Summer League baseball. I mean, I know you want to win, but that pitch misses outside. It's 1-0. But I just hope Allen will be okay for the rest of the game. And we won't see any more issues as that 1-0 is in there for a called strike. Evens at 1-1 as Dalen Lee, the right fielder, bats here for Jamestown. Lee out of the University of California, Irvine. He's a Santa Ana, California native. As that pitch misses away, it's 2-1 now. And Lee is certainly used to this heat, but I don't know if he's used to the humidity like this. As that pitch misses just outside, and Durant falls behind 3-1.
Lights are now on here at Shuttleworth Park as the sun begins to set behind our towers and trees that are in off the first baseline. So that one's grounded onto Allen. And
he fields that easily, and he's making the nice runs there, and it looks like he's stumbling a little bit, but he gets the third out there as Zach Durant allows a leadoff walk but faces the minimum. As we will head to the third here at Shuttleworth Park after 2 innings. Your score, the Amsterdam Mohawks 2, the Jamestown Jammers nothing. You are listening to Game 1 of the PGCBL Finals presented by KCG Development. It'll be the 2-3-4 hitters here in the top of the third for Amsterdam as they bat as the away team in the top of the third at Shuttleworth Park here, up 2-0 over Jamestown. Game 1 of the PGCBL Finals. It will be Richie Barella, Michael Ludwig, and Tanner Allen due up in this inning. Hopefully Tanner Allen is all right after taking the cleat, it looked like, to the left leg. As he turned a 4-6-3 double play in the bottom of the second. First pitch into Barella is a strike from Ryan, 0-1. Barella walked his first time up. And he reached second on a wild pitch but did not come in to score. The 0-1. That curveball is ripped into left center field, and that will get down for an extra base hit and go all the way to the wall. Fielded by the center fielder King, gets up and tosses in as Richie Barella rounds second and stops there with a leadoff stand-up double.
As Barella, with his speed, had no trouble getting into second in time. He probably could have pushed it for third, although he may have been out. But
as that puts Barella at a 11 for 16 clip as Michael Ludwig steps up here with a runner on second and nobody out. Here in the playoffs, 11 for 16, which on base I think is about 700, give or take. You know, it's just all right. As his on base during the season approached 400 at points and was over 400 at the beginning of the season. First pitch into Ludwig. That one will be grounded to the right side, chopped over there. Nania has to field it, flip to first. As Connor Ryan makes the spring training play work. That moves Barella over to third, but they do get the first out as Ludwig is retired. As that will bring up Tanner Allen, the second baseman out of Mississippi State. Tanner is 0 for 1 so far tonight. He popped out to end the first.
And Barella is on third, so we have a runner only 90 feet away from putting the Mohawks up 3 here in the third inning.
As it looks like the center fielder, King, is playing Tanner Allen shade to the opposite side of the field than the lefty.
And Tanner can use the whole field, so no shock there.
As that one misses low and away, it'll be 1-0. I mentioned I'll be intrigued to see how he does against a high curveball on the outside from Ryan, as the, for lack of a better term, junk ball pitcher has been working a lot of his off-speed stuff and has left a couple of hangers, as that one is popped into the air in left field, as Timko is on to make the catch and straightaway. Richie Barella is trying to score here. The throw to the plate will get him at home, as Richie Barella is not happy with the call, but that will be a fly out and then throw him out to end the inning, as Coach Doug O'Bray now is not happy with the call, and he's in the face of the home plate umpire. We'll see how long he lasts in this game. Of course, Amsterdam is limited on the coaching side, as they only have 3 coaches, I believe, here tonight. They have 4 listed. As we have some yelling here from the Mohawks faithful, that as they let the home plate umpire hear it. But either way, the Mohawks only bring 3 to the plate there, as the starting pitcher Ryan faces the minimum. We will head to the bottom of the third here at Shuttleworth Park. Amsterdam up 2-0 over Jamestown. You're listening to Game 1 of the PGCBL Finals, presented by KCG Development. It'll be 7-8-9 due up in the bottom of the third inning here for Jamestown in Game 1 of the PGCBL Finals, as Amsterdam holds an early 2-0 lead on solo home runs from Shane Munson, Joe Genord. First pitch into Lavorsi is on the outside corner for a strike 0-1. I think we'll see a large outside strike zone, at least 2 left-handed hitters, it seems like so far, as Lavorsi, the catcher out of St. Louis University, as that curveball catches the outside corner. It's 0-2 now to Lavorsi, who this season for Jamestown he only hit 247 over 97 at bats, but he did have 21 runs scored, 8 extra base hits, along with 4 home runs, which led the team as that one misses high. Waste pitch there from Durant. It's 1-2.
And Durant's been generally efficient so far. He's at 27 pitches now, but he only needed 24 to get through for the first 2 innings, 6 batters.
That 1-2 is on the inside corner for a called strike 3, and Lavorsi knew it once he bounced back like that. As that will be the first strikeout of the day for either team. As that brings up Chris Rubottom, the designated hitter for Jamestown. As Rubottom is out of Wofford University, but he's from Long Beach, California. Not really sure why he wanted to come to the East Coast to go to college, but to each their own. As that one misses outside, it's 1-0. And, of course, I'm completely kidding with that. Wofford University has a great baseball program. Notables that I always like to mention, Brett Rodriguez, who's a local guy from Queensbury, plays there, as that one is in there for a called strike. He'll be 1-1.
And that was interesting to see Jamestown strike out there, as that one's low for the ball.
Yes.
Ben Lavorsi strikes out as they had 23 strikeouts but 22 walks in their first 3 games of the playoffs, so they're walking as much as they strike out.
As that one is cut on and missed by Rubottom, and it is 2-2 now to the designated hitter out of Wofford. I will say, though, in the regular season, Jamestown led Amsterdam in total strikeouts as that curveball misses low and away. It's 3-2. They actually had 362 as a squad compared to 342 for Amsterdam. So even though we kind of look at Amsterdam as a big hits, swing and miss sometimes team, they actually struck out less than a Jamestown team that has seemed to get on base more than anyone, as that one misses low and inside. That'll be a 1-out walk here to Rubottom, as that will bring up the 9-hitter Migliori, Brett Migliori, that is, out of Canisius College.
That being said, Jamestown does have 50 more walks than us on the season. That's 5-0. So
yeah, so I think definitely their on-base percentage would probably be better, even though their batting average is 4 spots behind us in the league standings. As they check the runner quickly at first, but he slides back in safely.
It was a pretty nice toss over there by Durant.
A quick move there from the Herkimer General, who will be attending Lynn University in the fall, as that one catches the outside corner. It'll be 0-1 here to Migliori.
He was trying to get Rubottom there as he was still taking his lead, so his momentum was going in the wrong direction.
Durant sets the 0-1, misses outside, evens it at 1-1. Migliori, in just 8 games played in the regular season, 24 at-bats, had 9 hits and 5 runs scored, along with 2 triples. And he also walked 7 times, so out of 31 at-bats, he reached base 16 times. So almost 500 on-base percentage. That one catches the outside corner. It's 1-2 now to Migliori. Here with 1 out, run around first base, bottom of the 3rd. That 1-2 is grounded right to Tanner Allen. Takes a weird hop off of the pitcher's mound, flipped on to Elvis Peralta at second on the first, and that 4-6-3 double play will end the bottom of the 3rd inning, as the Mohawks have helped Zach Durant work around 2 walks to face the minimum through 3. Your score after 3 innings here at Shuttleworth Park: the away team, Amsterdam Mohawks, up 2-0 over the home team, Jamestown Jammers. You are listening to Game 1 of the PGCBL Finals here at Shuttleworth, presented by KCG Development. Shane Muntz will lead off the top of the fourth inning here for the Amsterdam Mohawks, who are up 2-0 over the Jamestown Jammers here in Game 1 of the PGCBL Finals. I had to determine what his walk-up song is now. Shane Muntz is coming up to, I believe it's Houston Fornication. Actually, I thought it was maybe Houston Fornication, but I don't think it is. I'll have to find what the song is off of Astro World, Travis Scott's new album. As that's interesting to see. First pitch from Ryan in there for a called strike. Curveball catches the strike zone at the knees. 0-1 here to Muntz, who is 1 for 1 with a solo home run as he led off the top of the second inning with a bomb over the left center field wall. The 0-1. That one is ripped high and foul down the left field line as he was way in front of that curveball. It'll be 0-2.
Yeah, he had the distance on it, but at 74, 75 miles an hour, Shane Muntz was able to really get around on that one.
Yeah, that one entered the stratosphere. Just, we aren't playing cricket, we're playing baseball. We got to get in between the poles. As it will be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters in the order for Amsterdam. That is Muntz, Genord, and Foscue. The 0-2 to Muntz. That one is ripped foul down the right field line now as he slapped it the other way. Gets over the bounce house here in the kids zone at Shuttleworth Park. And I will say, I think it's certainly just bad luck for Jamestown that they had their park have to have a scheduling conflict ahead of time. I mentioned they're great sports for coming here and still putting on the PGCBL Finals instead of trying to force it in Newark or in another Western location. And they'll still get the opportunity to be the home team for games 1 and 3 here. As that 0-2 misses just off the plate. Good pitch there from Ryan, but it's 1-2. And also, Shuttleworth Park has proven that it is one of the best parks to kind of come to as a fan in the PGCBL. Not to say that any other parks aren't good, but Amsterdam has a great reputation here as Justin Cohen gives me a little and we're probably talking about a couple of the Eastern Division foes. As if anyone from any of the East Division teams are listening, thank you for the view. As that curveball misses low and away, it's 2-2 now to Muntz.
We're definitely not talking about your Eastern Division team. We're talking about the other ones.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The 2-2 here to Muntz. That one is in there for a called strike 3 as Muntz tried to hold up. I think that was in there anyways. And he will be down for the first out.
But I am seeing a lot of neon green as I look around the stadium here, as it has filled up considerably since the first pitch. So solid over 1,000 people, 1,300.
Yeah, it's a nice contingent from Jamestown traveling to try and see the Jammers win their first PGCBL title. For Amsterdam, it could be their 5th in 8 years as Joe Genord steps up to the plate. And this guy helped get the Mohawks their last championship in 2016 as he was the MVP of that PGCBL championship team. Joe already 1 for 1 with a solo home run tonight. He is certainly hungry for another one. As that one is ripped into right center field, and that will get down and probably go all the way to the wall here, as it's actually cut off by the right fielder Lee, and Genord wisely stops at first after taking a large turn, and he is 2 for 2 already with a home run and a single. And that will bring up Justin Foscue, the third baseman. The Mississippi State Bulldog is 0 for 1 so far tonight. As he's also the Recovery Sports Grill hitman, which means that if he gets a hit tonight, it will give everyone here in attendance at Shuttleworth Park a free coupon to use at Recovery Sports Grill on Route 30 in Amsterdam. Recovery Sports Grill, come for the game, stay for the food. And we'll thank them throughout the night, but I'd love to give a thanks to all of our awesome sponsors here for the Mohawks this season, as they've had a lot of continued sponsorships throughout their history. As that one misses high and away, it's 1-0 here to Foscue, including St. Mary's Healthcare. We've had Sticker Mule donate some clothing and stuff this season, as we've done a lot of T-shirt tosses. MCT Federal Credit Union, as that one misses low, it'll be 2-0 now to Foscue. Jankowski Insurance has been a huge sponsor here, as they have always had their Jankowski insurance markers on the outfield wall. You can see them in maroon in center field, staggering the flag poles and down the lines, as that one is punched behind into the netting that lines the grandstand by Foscue. It's 2-1 now. And, of course, we have to thank our sponsor for the playoffs, KCG Development, building better homes and better lives. As they have very comfortable loft-style living if you want to look them up on Google or go to kcgdevelopment.com. The 2-1 misses high and away, and Ryan is behind 3-1 here, as he has walked only one so far. He walked Richie Burrell in the first inning, so that's not surprising to see out of the Mercyhurst College product, as the 3-1 here to Foscue misses away, and that's his second walk already, though with only one strikeout. So usually he matches every walk with about 3 strikeouts, at least historically on the season, but already behind that ratio, as they will put runners on first and second here. 1 out for Jake Hammond, the lefty out of Morehead State College.
Yeah, Foscue's been a tough customer at the plate for pitchers this year. In 17 regular season games, he drew 16 walks. So he's averaging about a walk per game, and he has 1 so far in the playoffs, 2 now, as he will head into the rest of this game, but 2 in just over 3 games.
Yeah, as the Mohawks, they, of course, have had some very talented hitters every season, but their lineup this season has become just so complete overall, as that one is cut on and missed by Hammond. It's 0-1 now. And the best way to show that is that Elvis Peralta Jr., the 9-hole hitter, was a PGCBL All-Star. He had 22 extra base hits in the regular season, including 5 triples, which ties him for the franchise record with Mel Rojas Jr. and I think and one other guy. We'll have to look that up as we have that information on hand. 0-1 count here to Jake Hammond with 1 out, runners on first and second. Mohawks trying to extend their 2-run lead. Hammond slaps that one back to the pitcher, Ryan. He has to wait on it, tries to get the out second, but he can't, and will have to throw to first. They do get Hammond by half a step there, as that will move the runners over with now 2 gone in the top of the 4th. As now we'll see the head coach of the Jammers, Anthony Barone, come out to talk to his pitcher, Ryan, as that will bring up the 9-hitter, Elvis Peralta Jr., runners on second and third.
And I'm going to apologize to Kurt here if he's watching, but I'm not going to get his last name right. It's Kurt Ziminowicz, who has the other 5 triples in a single season, as Elvis Peralta did this year.
Yes, I think you got close with that.
Yeah, it's a tricky name.
Yes.
Not gonna lie here.
Yeah, the Mohawks have had a couple of weird names. The one that I always love to point out is their overall leader in home runs is Handsome Monica. But that was before Joe Genord broke that this past season. But Handsome Monica is a weird name. We've seen Mel Rojas Jr. We've seen Elvis. Now, to add to it, Elvis Peralta Jr., which is certainly an interesting name, as every time he's been able to hit a home run this season, our PA announcer, Bob Malicki, always loves to say Elvis has left the building, as that brings some chuckles always. But it'll be runners on second and third here with 2 outs. And I'm not sure what Elvis's walk-up song is now. At one point he was using Drake. He was using some Spanish music, as he has some Spanish background in his family. But now it's kind of switched to a dubstep type version of something. But he'll bat with runners on second and third, 2 out. First pitch from Ryan. That was ripped down the right field line, but it will be foul. 0-1. As Peralta was on top of that, but just out in front of it. Genord on third, Foscue on second here, 2 outs. Mohawks as the away team in the top of the 4th here at Shuttleworth in Game 1 of the PGCBL Finals. The 0-1 to Peralta Jr. That curveball is ripped right to second base, and the second baseman, Migliori, eats that one up and gets Elvis Peralta at first for the out. Took that one hopper to the side. I thought that might have gone wrong for him, but he's able to make the snag and throw into first for the third out. Nice play there by the second baseman out of Canisius. As in that inning, the Mohawks get no runs on one hit, no errors in the inning, but they leave 2 on. We head to the bottom of the fourth here at Shuttleworth Park. Your score, Amsterdam 2, Jamestown nothing. You're listening to Game 1 of the PGCBL Finals here at Shuttleworth, sponsored by KCG Development. We'll see the 1-2-3 hitters in the Jamestown lineup to lead off the bottom of the fourth inning. As it'll be Alex O'Donnell out of Mercyhurst College, who is 0 for 1 so far. He flew out to right field as Michael Ludwig made a nice diving catch on a ball tailing away from him to lead off the ball game. First pitch in from Durant. Misses high. It'll be 1-0. With that pitch, he's at 39, as he had 38 through the first 3 innings. The 1-0 from Durant, as that one will be punched into shallow right field. Now falling hit as Jamestown gets its third base runner, but first hit of the night.
Yeah, we'll see if Jamestown's able to be a little bit more successful their second time through the order. As you mentioned, that was their first hit of the night. But second time through the order, maybe you've seen them a little bit once before, and now that Durant's working more often out of the stretch, even with the 2 walks.
Sterling Hayes now steps at the plate. He'll be headed to Vanderbilt in the fall, as Durant throws the first pitch into Hayes. It'll miss low and inside, 1-0. O'Donnell on the base paths has 14 stolen bases, which is good enough for third on the ball club on a team that steals the most out of any PGCBL ball clubs. He was 14 for 17 during the season.
That being said, if Shane Muntz is able to get the ball into his arm.
That 1-0 catches the inside corner. It'll be 1-1 now to Hayes, but go on, Justin.
If he's able to get the ball in his hand, if somebody's running, Shane Muntz has a fantastic arm, as he is a pitcher part-time. So he is deadly accurate as he throws to second base. He does have some trouble sometimes with the exchange.
Yeah, that's been kind of his kryptonite with base runners, as that one is chopped at the plate, but it'll be foul. It'll be 1-2 now to Hayes. But yeah, if Jamestown is the manufacturer of a lot of runs against the Mohawks, I would certainly expect it to be because of them being able to run at will on Muntz, where we've seen that sometimes from teams. Albany in the first game, I think, had a good job of, they stole quite a few bases off of Shane, and that's really the only thing you could knock against them, as otherwise he's a solid defensive catcher. And of course, we've all seen what he can do at the plate. 10 RBIs here in the playoffs. As that one misses off the plate, it'll be 2-2 to go with a 7-inning scoreless start with only 1 hit given up. And now we have signs from the Jamestown head coach Barone, who is at third base.
There were 6 stolen bases against Munts in that Albany game.
And now O'Donnell is going. The 2-2 is low, I believe, and they will not get the runner. As I don't know where that pitch missed exactly, but it'll be 3-2 now. And Muntz kind of held it for an extra half second to make sure he got the call, and he didn't, as that ended up being a solid turn of events for the Jammers as they get a runner in scoring position now with nobody out in the 3-2 count now to Hayes.
And that'll make it so much harder for Durant to face the minimum here again.
Yeah.
For the 4th consecutive inning with the needing a triple play or a throw out here.
Yeah, need to double him off doing something, I guess, as it'll be 3-2 now. And you mentioned in the in-between innings when Durant sets up from the stretch, I don't know if you can see it on our feed. Our apologies. We know that it can sometimes get blurry. We try our best with the connection that we have, and we'll try to switch our settings up to make it better. The 3-2 here will be grounded down to third base. Foscue checks the runner at second, throws to first, and they will get the out. They try to get O'Donnell at third, and they will not get him as he is safe. And the Mohawks are beside themselves, and Coach Doug O'Bray will now come out to talk to the third base coach. This is certainly not the game that you need to argue a lot of calls on, as you only have so many coaches. But we'll see what he says here. But they do get the out at first, so 1 out, runner on third base here for the 3-hitter, Chase King. As that was a nice play there from Foscue. Looks O'Donnell back enough where he thought he would be able to make the throw. O'Donnell ends up breaking for third, trying to be aggressive. That was a great play by the Mercyhurst product as he makes a nice slide in. And it was a bang-bang play. I'm not really sure which way it could have gone, but the call does go to Jamestown, and they'll have a runner on third here with just 1 out as they try to cut into the Mohawks' 2-run lead.
That being said, in the top of this inning, the Mohawks were in the exact same spot where they had 1 out and a runner on third, and they were able to, and Jamestown was able to keep the Mohawks off the board. So it is certainly doable, even though the runner is on third base with 1 out.
As Chase King, out of the University of Texas San Antonio, steps up to the plate. That curveball from Durant is in there for a called strike, 0-1. Mohawks are playing straight up on the infield, up 2-0, so I think they would concede a ground ball out for an RBI, as that one will be flown into straightaway center field. Mike Antico has to take a couple of steps back, and that should get the run in. Makes the catch, throws into home, as that is cut off by Durant, and a sacrifice fly by King gives Jamestown their first run of the game. The Mohawks now lead 2-1.
That was some great situational hitting there by King to get it deep enough and to Antico, who of the 3 outfielders probably has the weakest arm in the outfield of the 3.
Yeah, that's probably accurate. And he doesn't even have that weak of an arm.
It was a solid throw. He was deep. He was probably 360, 370. It's 400 or so to center field. King gave that a ride. So
as that one is outside for a ball here to Brandon Nani out of Winston-Salem State University. He reached on a walk his first time up and slid into second, cleating Tanner Allen on a play that ended up being a 6-4-3 double play to erase Nani from the base paths, as it is 1-1 here to the first baseman. As that one misses inside, it'll be 2-1.
Durant here working very, very quickly. He is not taking a lot of time in between pitches at all. Yeah,
he loves getting into a groove. You see here, Nania, once he's in, now he's already started his motion here with nobody on base. That pitch misses just inside, and it's 3-1 now to Nania, who was the most outstanding player of the semifinal series for Jamestown, as he looks to continue his hot playoffs with a .571 on-base percentage coming into the game, as that one misses low, and Nania is on with his second walk of the game here with 2 outs. That'll bring up Jeff Timko, the left fielder out of Eastern Michigan University.
Timko is the one that was doubled up there on that play where Nani has slid into second base and hit Tanner Allen. So Timko on the night is 0 for 1 with that double play.
The Eastern Michigan Eagle had 6 RBIs in Game 3 of that in that series finale against Geneva on Saturday night that sent Jamestown to the PGCBL Finals. First pitch is in there on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1.
So Durant here looking to limit the damage. Only a runner on first. Has let up the earned run, though, which is unusual for him.
That curveball's in there for a called strike, and it's 0-2. King on the base paths is certainly no one to trifle with, as he is 13 for 16, as that ties him for, I believe, 4th on the team. That 0-2 is ripped high and deep into left center field. Jake Hammond making the run over, and he will watch it sail over the wall. And James, excuse me, as he caught that, my vision was blocked. I thought that went over the wall. I saw Jamestown continuing to run the bases. Thank you, Justin, as that out will be the 3rd out. So they are headed to the 5th here at Shuttleworth with now a 2-1 lead in favor of Amsterdam. As my apologies on that, folks, as it's sometimes hard to see past the grandstand poles here. We know that it blocks part of your view. But in that inning, we saw 1 run scored on 1 hit. No errors in the inning and 1 left on. We will head to the top of the 5th here at Shuttleworth Park. You are listening to Game 1 of the PGCBL Finals presented by KCG Development. The Mohawks will send their 1, 2, and 3 hitters up to the plate to lead off the top of the 5th inning. Mike Antico will lead it off as he is 0 for 2 so far, as he's grounded out and flew out. And once again, folks, my apologies on the missed call there to end the bottom of the 4th. But it was a fly out to Jake Hammond by Jeff Timko. But now Jamestown is only down 1 run, as Connor Ryan, after giving up back-to-back home runs in the 2nd, has settled down. And the first pitch into Antico is bunted, but that will go foul. It will be 0-1. We've seen Antico all season go with the bunts. And also I've seen, this is weird to see, Mike is not wearing stirrups or high socks today. Usually he is one of the few Mohawks who sports the look, but he has long pants on today, no socks showing. This is
business attire.
Yeah, I guess. I guess it shows that I mean business, but I like to party. It's the 0-1 to Antico. That curveball is ripped down the right field line, and it is hooking foul. It'll get into the kid zone. That almost looked like it hit someone. It'll be 0-2 now to Antico. As we have a dark sky here in center field, but I think that's more of just nightfall than any sort of weather constellation.
Yeah, there's not supposed to be any rain on the forecast tonight. We do have to look for some minor storms tomorrow, but it doesn't look like it'll really come into play tomorrow either.
As we
Wednesday,
don't
too
have
far
to,
out for a weatherman.
we don't have to worry about switching where the weather is for this series, as it will be all 3 games in Amsterdam. The 0-2 to Antico. That one is ripped into left field for a base hit, as the left fielder Timko has to play it on a hop. And Antico is on with his first hit of the night.
Antico there looks pretty angry, honestly, with that swing. It went inside out. It tried to jam.
Yeah, I think that ball was left up by Ryan. He really wanted to drive it, and he was only able to hit it for a single. So,
yeah, he was.
Boo-hoo, poor Mike.
Yeah, he was jammed by the pitch.
Yeah. You're brilliant.
Yep, thank you.
Look at that. I wonder how many times that's been said by a broadcaster calling a Jamestown game this year. As Richie Barella will bat here with a runner on first and nobody out. Mike Antico is stealing first pitch. That one is in there for a strike, and there's no throwdown, as Antico has himself once again another stolen base.
Yeah, as we mentioned before, that Antico getting on first is essentially Antico getting on second, as he has been so good on the base paths all year.
As he ended the regular season 14 for 19 in stolen bases, which was tied for the team lead, I believe, with Elvis Peralta Jr. Antico takes a nice lead away from second. The 0-1 to Barella is slap foul. He'll be 0-2.
This has Antico with 2 stolen bases so far before tonight in the postseason as well.
Richie Barella is also 1 for 1 tonight. He had a double in his last at-bat, but was thrown out at home on a fly out to left field and a nice throw in from Jeff Timko to get the Manhattan Jasper to end the top of the third at the time. As now Barella calls time here with an 0-2 count. Top of the 5th inning. If you have just joined us recently, the Mohawks are the away team in this game, even though we're playing at Shuttleworth Park. Jamestown had the better record, but because of a scheduling issue, we're playing all 3 games at Shuttleworth. As that one misses away, it's now 1-2 to Barella. As that certainly hurts Jamestown with the idea of, first off, travel. They had to travel the long way. It's the largest distance between teams, I think, in this league. Might be, if the only thing longer than Jamestown to us is Jamestown to either Glens Falls or Jamestown to Saugerties. As now we have a long pause here from Ryan, and now he steps off once again, as it seems to be a bit of a cat and mouse game here.
Barella here is yet to be retired. He was retired on the base paths, but has reached bases both times he's been up.
Mike Antico on second. The 1-2. Misses high. You'll leave it at 2-2. And we've seen Barella do a great job of being patient at the plate, waiting for his pitch. That's why he finished the season tied for first on the ball club in average with a 338 clip. At one time earlier in the season, he actually led the league, but we saw a lot of different guys have monster years at the plate, most notably with the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs, Ryan Hernandez, Ryan Tours, as it looks like they check Antico at second as O'Donnell came in, and Ryan steps off now as Antico just retreated back and will reset again, as Ryan, to keep runners close, it seems like he's big into holding the ball. The 2-2, that one is fouled off by Barella to stay alive. And now we have a bit of a breeze blowing in the outfield, but it's actually blowing from right to left, which is different than what we saw earlier in the game and in pregame, as now it's died down. Two and two count here to Barella. Nobody out, runner on second as the Mohawks look to expand on their 2-1 lead now. The 2-2. That one is nubbed off of the end of the bat here to the second baseman, Migliori, who gets the out at first by a stride, as that was a nice effort there from Barella, but does move the runner over here as Antico is on third base with one out and Michael Ludwig striding to the plate.
Yeah, Barella hustled down the line. It made it much closer than it probably needed to be. It was a slow ground ball to the right side of the infield, and the first baseman, Nania, looks like he had some indecision there coming off of the bag before retreating to cover first.
Yeah, as that was a nice play by Migliori, ranging to his left, making the quick switch as a right-handed hitter. As now we once again have Ryan seems to not be able to stay on the rubber for too long, as that one is fouled off by Ludwig down the right field line. It'll be 0-1.
Antico is practically running on the pitch there. He was
Antico was right. Yeah, any ground ball, I would certainly be expecting Mike Antico to break for home. And that's not just because the Mohawks like to be aggressive, but it's because Mike Antico, with his speed, it's a hard play to even get an out on at any point. It doesn't matter how hard to hit the ground ball is. You have to make a good throw, and you have to get Antico, who is a small, stocky individual, but is very sneaky on the base paths too, as that curveball misses low and inside, 1-1. As he's shown his speed on the base paths in the field, in center field, as he hasn't played every game in center batting leadoff, but of the vast majority of them have had the St. John's product there.
Since Mike Antico's come on, he's sort of taken Elvis Peralta's spot.
The 1-1 is grounded through the hole. That's a base hit from Michael Ludwig. That will score Mike Antico as the Mohawks go up 3-1 here in the top of the fifth. That is Mike Ludwig's first hit of the playoffs as he finally breaks through. And he seems very relieved at first base, as that was nice hitting. He went the other way with it as the lefty hit it through the hole between shortstop and third. As now we'll see a pitching change from Jamestown, as Connor Ryan exits, having given up 3 runs, all earned on just 7 hits. As we'll come back with who the new pitcher for Jamestown will be. We'll take a quick break here on the Amsterdam Mohawks Broadcast Network. You're listening to the PGCBL Finals, sponsored by KCG Development. The new pitcher for the Jammers will be number 34, Isaac Meza, a Valencia, California native out of Cal State Bakersfield College. He'll be a sophomore there in the fall. Right-hander. Beautiful beard on the mound, we must say, comparable to known bearded greats like Eric Gagne, Brian Wilson. As Meza on the season has seen a good amount of appearances, it seems like, out of the pen for Jamestown, as that will bring up Tanner Allen, the cleanup hitter for the Mohawks, with Michael Ludwig on first and 1 out. Mohawks up 3-1 in Game 1 of the PGCBL Finals.
as Ryan was pulled there after 4 1/3 innings.
First pitch from Mesa misses just outside. It'll be 1-0 to Allen.
Gave up three earned runs, 7 hits, 2 walks, and only recorded 1 strikeout there.
Over 4 1/3 innings.
Through 62 pitches.
Yes, that was interesting to see him not strike out more than he walked, as that one is on the outside corner. Stealing was Ludwig, and the ball skips out of the glove of the shortstop O'Donnell, and Ludwig has the second stolen base of the inning for the Mohawks. And it gives them once again a runner in scoring position with less than 2 outs. 1-1 count here to Tanner Allen, who is 0 for 2 so far. He has popped out and flown out.
Looks like Ludwig probably would have gotten there anyways, even without the drop ball there at the end of the play.
Yeah, as that just makes it an easier call. As that one misses outside, it's now 2-1 here to Allen, who I'm sure would love to not only bat Ludwig home, but get a little bit of revenge on the Jammers, as Brandon Nania, the first baseman of Winston-Salem State, who has been on a tear for Jamestown at the plate, slid a little hard into Allen in the second inning and ended up cleating the Mississippi State Bulldog, as that one is grounded down to Nania at first, and he will have to wait to flip to the pitcher Mesa, who does execute the spring training play. That moves Ludwig over to third, but now there are 2 outs in the inning for Shane Muntz.
And if Shane Muntz has his way about it, it doesn't really matter what base any base runner is on. Ludwig on third here, you might as well be on first. Shane Muntz is probably looking for that second home run of the night.
Yeah, as he'll sit back on. He struck out in his last at-bat, but he's 1 for 2 with that solo homer. As he punched a few balls down the line, but they were foul by a lot. First pitch from Mesa is on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1.
Mesa here throwing with a little bit more gas, around 88, compared to Ryan, who is in the high 70s often. But I think that was probably a little bit higher, as our board is inconsistent.
Yeah, as in 0-1 count here, Muntz steps out. Mesa on the season, he actually was a starter. I mentioned that he was out of the bullpen. I had him confused with another pitcher on the squad, but in those 5 starts, 23 innings pitched, as that one is fouled off by Muntz. He'll be 0-2. He gave up 30 hits and 16 runs. They were all earned. He walked 11 and struck out 10, but he is 2-0 with a 6.26 ERA, as he gave up 4 extra base hits in those starts. Wind now blowing a little harder. The 0-2 to Muntz misses high and away. He'll be 1-2 now. Michael Ludwig on third, as he played in Mike Antico earlier this inning with an RBI single. Mohawks retake a 2-run lead here, 3-1 now, in the top of the 5th. It's a 1-2. Misses high. It'll be 2-2 now to Muntz.
Muntz only had 13 regular season walks, so not a high walk rate out of Muntz, who tends to swing more often than not.
Yeah, as he tends to not get cheated on his cuts. So if he's going up there, he's taking his cuts. As that 2-2 will be flown into right field. Ranging over is the right fielder Lee, who will settle under it to make the catch and retire the side. But not before Amsterdam retakes a 2-run lead, as they score 1 run on an RBI single from Michael Ludwig. 2 hits in the inning. There were no errors as they strand 1. We will head to the bottom of the 5th. We're halfway done with Game 1 of the PGCBL Finals, presented by KCG Development. Amsterdam leading Jamestown. You are listening to the PGCBL Finals on the Amsterdam Mohawks Broadcast Network. Zach Durant back out to pitch the bottom of the 5th for Amsterdam, as he has given up only 1 earned run through 4. The Herkimer College headed to Lynn University product has kept his pitch count down as well. As we'll get an exact count in just a second. Up this inning will be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters in the Jamestown lineup as they bat in the bottom of the 5th. We've mentioned it a couple times, but if you are hopping into the stream, Mohawks are the away team in this game, as Jamestown should have had home field advantage, but due to a scheduling conflict, we're playing all 3 games here at Shuttleworth Park. Game 1 tonight, Game 2 tomorrow, Game 3 Wednesday if necessary, as that one is ripped down the line by the 6-hitter Dalen Lee, and it will be 0-1 as that one gets into the kids area. Lee out of UC Irvine is 0 for 1 so far today. He grounded out to second base.
Durant there had 56 pitches to get through his first 4 innings, so he's now at 57 pitches. So averaging right around 14.
As that pitch catches the inside corner, and he's ahead 0-2 now on Lee.
Which at 14 innings, we could see Durant go 7, maybe 8 innings if he's really pushing it.
Yeah, as this would certainly be expected to be his last appearance as a Mohawk this season. As that pitch misses low and inside, it'll be 1-2. This isn't really of course, you want to win here, but it's not really life or death where you're going to bring out your Game 5 starter to close out Game 7. As that one is cut on and missed. Good off-speed pitch there from Durant. Gets Lee swinging for the first out. As that will bring up Ben Lavorsi, the catcher out of St. Louis. Lavorsi on the season only hit .247, 24 for 97. That's in 36 games. But he did score 20 runs as he got on base at a good clip. First pitch into him, curveball misses outside, 1-0. Lavorsi also has been a solid catcher behind the plate for the Jammers this season. As on the season, as I check here, overall, if I'm not mistaken, it says that he has no errors, so that's kind of insane to see as a catcher. I don't know how many games he started behind the plate, but it'll now be 2-0 here to Lavorsi, batting as a lefty against the right-handed Durant. The 2-0, that one is punched foul right behind the plate. Goes up the netting. It'll be 2-1. On deck, the 8-hitter, Chris Rubottom out of Wofford University. Two and one here from Durant. Misses inside, and it'll be 3-1 now to the catcher, Lavorsi.
Durant has fallen behind a couple of batters a couple more batters as the night's progressed. He's walked a couple. He's walked 3 actually on the night of his 4 base runners he's allowed.
As that one misses outside, and that will be his 4th walk of the night now. As Lavorsi will get on here 1 out. That brings up Chris Rubottom out of Wofford University, the designated hitter tonight, as we'll have a quick meeting between Muntz and Durant on what they'll do with Rubottom, the right-handed hitter. As Knight has officially fallen.
Yeah, Durant does have 4 walks tonight, but he did erase 2 of them with double plays directly after the walk, so we'll see if he's able to get out of it again.
Yeah, that's only, you mentioned, his 5th base runner, as that one misses away. It's 1-0 now to Rubottom. As Jamestown does have 1 stolen base tonight, but I'm surprised they haven't sent more, as the Mohawks currently have 2, so they have the advantage there, as that one is in there for a called strike, 1-1. We mentioned at the beginning of the game that Jamestown leads the league in stolen bases with 118, where the Mohawks only have 74 total, which is 7th in the PGCBL. As that curveball is on the inside corner for a called strike, and Durant is ahead 1-2 here on Rubottom. On deck is the 9-hitter, the 2nd baseman, Brett Migliori. The 1-2 from Durant. will be punched through the hole between first and second. That'll be a base hit as the runner has to stop at second in Lavorsi.
Lavorsi there with some nice cha-cha sliding.
Yes, he had to wait to make sure he wouldn't kick the ball. Of course, if he ends up kicking that, he's called out as it touches him as a runner. Now we'll actually have the pitching coach, Greg Christodulo, out of Clifton Park, New York, coming out to talk to Durant. And they have a lefty warming up in the bullpen right now. That might be Blake Espinal, as I'm sure they won't be taking Durant out just yet. They'll want him to try and work out of this jam here, but he will have a short leash as the Mohawks only hold a 2-run lead, and you only need to win 2 games. So if you let one game get away from yourself, it's really hard to climb out of that hole, especially for Amsterdam. Even though they have all 3 games at home, they are the away team in this game, and they would get a game as the home team batting last tomorrow. But if you then force yourself to win that game, that's hard against a hungry team in Jamestown that's very talented at the plate.
Yeah, they essentially have to steal one away, even though they are
home for all.
Home for all of them.
And the first pitch here into the 9-hitter Migliori is at the knees for a called strike, 0-1.
So Migliori representing the go-ahead run at the plate right now, but at the same time could just as easily hit into another double play. He has one already on the night.
Yeah, tying runs now on base as that curveball misses away. It evens at 1-1. Durant would certainly love his 3rd double play of the night here to get out of the inning. As the Mohawks are playing halfway, it looks like, pretty much all the way around the diamond. That pitch catches the inside corner as Durant once again goes ahead 1-2. As the leadoff hitter Alex O'Donnell stands on deck. The 1-2. Oh, gets away, and that goes through Shane Muntz's legs, and he will not be able to make the throw down to third, so both runners move up on the wild pitch there. As that takes away the force outs at second and third. And now it's a 2-2 count to Migliori out of Canisius College. Migliori so far tonight is 0 for 1. He hit into a double play to end the bottom of the 3rd inning. The 2-2 from Durant. That curveball is punched into left field for a base hit, and that will score at least 1. Coming up and throwing is Jake Hammond. He hits the cutoff man, and Jamestown is once again within a run. The score is 3-2 in favor of Amsterdam. As that will bring up the leadoff hitter Alex O'Donnell out of Mercyhurst College.
So it'll now be 1st and 3rd with 1 out for O'Donnell.
RBI single there for Migliori.
It was Lavorsi coming around to score.
By Migliori.
Yes.
As, yep, Lavorsi scores. As O'Donnell steps up. O'Donnell so far tonight is 1 for 2. He singled and came around to score in the last inning. The first pitch into him is outside, 1-0.
So Durant now has gone ahead 1-2 on 2 consecutive batters and has been unable to put them away, both hitting singles.
And they check the runner at first, but he gets back in there safely. Rude bottom on at third. Migliori on first here, 1 out for the Jammers as they're down 3-2. Tying run at third as that one is popped foul. It'll be 1-1 now to O'Donnell.
Here's Pete.
Yep, we got Pete at Manor Glass, as we don't always have that promotion here by our PA announcer, Bob Malicki, but we hear it tonight as it's a special night, game 1 here of the PGCBL Finals. The 1-1 to O'Donnell is grounded to short. Elvis Peralta Jr. steps on second, throws the first, and the double play will end the inning, as that one was well-timed for Durant as he exits the 5th, still with the lead in that inning. 1 run is scored by Jamestown on 2 hits. And there were no errors in the inning by the Mohawks as they leave one on base. We head to the 6th here at Shuttleworth Park. Amsterdam leading Jamestown 3-2. You're listening to Game 1 of the PGCBL Finals, presented by KCG Development.
And it'll be Joe Genord, the designated hitter, who steps in against Isaac Meza, who remains out for the top of the 6th inning. He'll take that one low and inside for a ball as our new coach takes a little bit rounding home plate to get over to his position at third to be the third base coach. Joe Genord on the night is 2 for 2. He has a home run and a single, and he'll take that second pitch away for a ball. So Meza here is falling behind 2-0. It'll be Genord, Foscue, and Hammond as the Mohawks try and extend that lead back up to 2 runs. Genord hits a liner straight to O'Donnell, who will record the out. So Genord with another hard hit ball, but this time unable to get on base, as O'Donnell does a nice job wrangling that one. It'll be the Mississippi State Bulldog, Justin Foscue, up next. He is 0 for 1, has a walk, reached second base in the 4th inning. Foscue, as we mentioned earlier, is the Recovery Grill sportsman of the game, hitman of the game, and he'll take that one for a ball. Foscue heading into tonight was 3 for 12 so far during the playoffs, and he'll foul that one back to the netting. So it'll be 1-1 to Foscue now. Foscue, as we mentioned earlier, is averaging about a walk per game that he played, so he already has one, but always looking to tack on. As Meza, that one's high and inside for a ball. It's 2-1 now to Justin Foscue. It's been a nice crowd that's stuck around here as we are approaching 9 p.m. on a school night. Well, a camp night, I guess. And the 2-1 to Foscue is belted into left field. Unfortunately, straight at the left fielder, Teamco. And that will be the second out of the inning there for the Mohawks. It'll be Jake Hammond up next out of Morehead State.
Hammond so far tonight is 1 for 2. He singled in his first at bat, but was stranded at second base in the top of the 2nd. As Meza looking to work a quick 5th. That one is flown out to center field. Chase King given chase as he will settle down under it for the 3rd out. As Jamestown gets only actually that's the first 1-2-3 inning for Jamestown pitching this game. As we will head to the bottom of the 6th here at Shuttleworth Park. Your score, Amsterdam 3, Jamestown 2. You are listening to the PGCBL Finals here on the Amsterdam Mohawks Broadcast Network, presented by KCG Development. Zach Durant back out to pitch the bottom of the 6th inning here for Amsterdam, as he will face the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the order for Jamestown. It'll be Sterling Hayes, Chase King, and Brandon Nania. As the first pitch into Hayes is a ball inside, 1-0. Hayes headed to Vanderbilt University in the fall, is 0 for 2 so far tonight. He's grounded out twice. That 1-0 misses inside as well. It'll be 2-0 now. And now the 2-0 to Hayes is on the inside corner for a called strike. 2-1 now as Durant kept trying. And the third time is the charm with that pitch. As we're in the bottom of the 6th inning here, Jamestown is your home team, as that one is fouled off. And that evens the count 2-2.
It'll be interesting to see how liberal they are with Durant tonight on both his pitch count and his leash in general, as he had gotten into a little bit of trouble last inning with a walk and 2 back-to-back singles.
And the 2-2 here to Hayes misses outside. It'll be 3-2. Durant always seems to have kind of a 3/4 arm release, but he kind of drops it down to that side arm on some 2-strike pitches as he tries to get a little bit more movement across the plate. As now the full count pitch here to Hayes is in the dirt, and he will be on with the leadoff walk as he represents the tying run. That walk is the 5th of the night for Zach Durant, and it looks like we will have a pitching change, as Durant only gets to see 1 batter in the 6th after going 5 innings, giving up 2 runs. He will be pulled here, as we'll get you a number on who is coming in for him. As Durant, a 2018 PGCBL All-Star for Amsterdam, ended the regular season with a 1.96 ERA. Will go down as one of the best pitchers on this staff this season. That was probably his last appearance in a Mohawks uniform, at least this year. As we would like to thank Zach and his parents as well, who they sometimes tune in to our broadcasts, as he did phenomenally for the Mohawks this season. And we'll see if Amsterdam is able to hold on to try and get him the win here, as it will be a lefty. I think it will be Dooley Espinal, if I'm not mistaken. We'll see who it will be.
Blake Espinal?
Yeah, Blake Espinal, excuse me. That's actually another Espinal, I know. It actually won't be. I think it'll actually be Matt Gonzalez. Nope. It'll be Matt Petrosino out of the University of Indiana. Petrosino was a late season addition to Amsterdam's roster, as the Indiana University pitcher on the season, in only 3 appearances, gave up 2 hits and 2 runs. Both of them were earned. He walked 2 and struck out 5, as he ended up 0-0 with a 6 ERA flat. As I'm not sure if we saw Petrosino. We might have seen him in game 1 of the Watertown series, as we'll we'll see if we can look back at that box score.
I believe this will be game 1 of the Albany, but it may be game 1 of Watertown. I'll have to see. But he went in that one outing, he went to 3rd of an inning, giving up 2 earned runs.
Yeah, so he did not do well in that in his one outing here in the playoffs so far. But we'll see if he can bounce back, as there's a runner now on first base.
That was game 1 of the Watertown series, so the semifinals, as he started off the he was actually the 2nd pitcher in that 5-run 9th inning for Watertown, as they tried to make him come back.
Yeah, so he got 2 batters, I think, got 1 out, and then immediately got...
Yeah, he has 2 hits against, so I think he faced 3 batters, but 1.1 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned, and a strikeout.
As he'll look to improve on those numbers here, as he'll face off against Chase King, the center fielder from the University of Texas, San Antonio. As King so far today is 0 for 1. In his last at-bat, he hit a sacrifice fly to give Jamestown their first run of the game. And now the runner is going as the throw down will get him. And the runner is quickly erased here as that will be the first out of the bottom of the 6th. As that was Sterling Hayes as the caught stealing by Shane Muntz now can help Petrosino breathe a little easier as the tying run is not on base anymore. And that pitch was in for a strike, so 0-1 now to King. As he just announced Brandon Nanny up, but he's still on deck. So it is King with an 0-1 count and 1 out. The 0-1 is punched into shallow left field, and that will fall in for a base hit. And Hammond will have to, now they'll say it's actually in the bullpen, so it'll be a ground rule double here.
Pretty sure the ball's at second base anyways, so.
Yeah, it looks like he got it in anyways. And now, okay, it will be a double here with 1 out as that ball fell in for King. As that'll bring up now the first baseman out of Winston-Salem State, Brandon Nania. As now we have Coach O'Bray coming out talking to the home plate umpire about something, and I don't know what his quabble here is. But
argument
yeah, he was just, I think he was just asking for clarification. He wanted to make sure.
Ground rule double versus the double, I guess.
Yeah.
Doesn't really make a difference.
Well, I mean, it would based off of, I mean, if it had gotten caught before he was rounding first, I think they would have only given him first base.
Really?
I mean, that's just my guess, but to be honest with you, I'm not completely sure. As the PGCBL rules, we mainly follow all NCAA college rules. As the first pitch here into Nania is off the plate, it's 1-0 from Petrosino. Now with the tying run on second and 1 out, as now that caught stealing of Sterling Hayes hangs high, as that could have scored the tying run already. The 1-0 misses off the plate. It'll be 2-0 now to Nania.
Yeah, so Shane Muntz, even when not pitching, making his defensive presence known and showing off his arm a little bit.
Yeah, he's helping the team all around, as well with his bat tonight already with a solo home run. Nania at the plate, the first baseman for the Jammers, is yet to record an official at bat in the game. He's walked twice as that one catches the outside corner. Third time's the charm for Petrosino, and it's 2-1. As Petrosino takes his time, the lefty Indiana Hoosier checks the runner at second, the 2-1. That one is cut on and missed by Nania, and he evens at 2-2. As we're approaching now, if I can get time here, it's 9 o'clock right now, as this game is going a little slowly, as we did only start at 7, though. As we had a first pitch scheduled for 6:55, we usually start a couple minutes after that, as that one is flown fouled on the left field line. He'll hook out play, and we will do it again.
After that Albany game where we had a 2-hour delay and then it was a 4-hour game on top of that, I've learned to really not complain about the pace of games.
Yeah, as we're fine with if it goes till 10:30, as long as we can get out of here today.
If PGCBL Championship Day 1 turns into Day 2 as well, that's when we're in trouble.
Yeah, we can't have 4 days in October. There's only 3 games. As that curveball catches the inside corner, and Nania is set down for the second out. As that will bring up the 5-hitter in the lineup, Jeff Timko out of Eastern Michigan.
The left fielder from Eastern Michigan, Jeff Timko.
Timko, the 5-hitter tonight, had 6 RBIs in the Game 3 win that gave Jamestown their ticket to their second straight PGCBL Finals. First pitch into Timko is fouled off out of play, 0-1.
Yeah, so the coaching staff has been here before, even though they're only in their third full year, I believe. They made
only their second, actually.
Second full year. Okay. Yeah. So they made the championship in their first. They're back here, got swept in their first year, so they'll be looking to improve upon that performance. As the playoff format has changed since last year, but still, a tough road as always to end a championship.
As we will now reset here. Petrosino on the mound, excuse me. With Chase King on second base. Jeff Timko at the plate. Jammers down 3-2 to the Amsterdam Mohawks. The 0-1 is hit foul, and it'll be 0-2 now to Timko.
So Petrosino here, only a strike from getting out of the inning.
After he comes in, after Durant is pulled after a leadoff walk to Sterling Hayes. Shane Muntz quickly gets Hayes caught stealing for the first out, but then he gives up a one-out double to King. He responds with a strikeout to Brendan Nania, the most outstanding player in the semifinal series for Jamestown. And now is 0-2 on Timko, who may be the hottest hitter in the Jammers lineup. Breeze blowing from right to left. The 0-2 misses high. They'll make it 1-2 now to the left fielder. And we haven't talked about this yet. It'll be interesting to see when we get to the ninth if it's still a close game, because Amsterdam can walk off in their home field. So we could see a walk-off hit and have it be the away team, which is just very intriguing. It's not something you see a whole lot in baseball. I mean, I've seen some crazy stuff in my time. I've watched 20-plus inning games. I've seen, if no one was able to see the kind of the clips that came out of, it was Baltimore during the Baltimore riots, I believe last year or the year before. The Orioles played a game in Camden Yards with no one attending because of the riots. That was eerie, as that one too was just fouled off, as I think the home plate umpire took that one off of the chest protector. As he walks around and he looks okay, it'll be 1-2. Still. But this has all sorts of intriguing storylines to it as a series. As Amsterdam, if they want to walk out to win the series, like in '93 for the '94 for the Blue Jays, like in '01 for the D-backs, they have to win tonight and win tomorrow, because they won't have Game 3 as the home team, as that one misses high and away. Here to Timko, evens it up at 2-2, as Timko has put together a quality at bat here against Petrosino. Trying to get something to drive the tying run on second base. A base hit probably scores King.
Yeah, that 1993 Joe Carter home run. If my
93, excuse me, not 94.
If my dad's listening, you just put a knife into his heart. Big Phillies fan.
Good. That one bounces and it hit the batter, Timko, so they call time as now Timko will reach base. There'll be runners on first and second here for Dalen Lee. Lee led off the bottom of last inning with a strikeout swinging. He's 0 for 2 so far tonight. And the first pitch is fouled off, as trying to bunt his way on was Lee.
Interesting call there by.
Yeah, as he must have tried. He would just want to try and use his speed.
But with 2 men on and 2 out, you don't often see the bunt for a single attempts there. But
yeah, but of course we talked about Jamestown hits for very little power historically as a team, so they have to rely on manufacturing runs like that, trying to catch the Mohawks off guard. Justin Foscue still playing back, but now he's on the edge of the infield grass. Here, as he'll wait for the 0-1 to leave from Petrosino. That off-speed pitch is fouled off, and now Petrosino is once again ahead 0-2 here. As Lee bats here, bottom of the 6th. Mohawks up 3-2 as the away team here in Game 1 of the PGCBL Finals. The 0-2 from Petrosino with runners on first and second. The runner's going, and they hit the batter Lee as that one hits him in the shoulder, and it'll be interesting to see if they leave Petrosino in here after 2 straight hit-by pitches after he's ahead 0-2 in both at-bats.
Certainly not something you expect on an 0-2. Usually they try and chase the batter away, but thankfully it looks like the hit-by pitches haven't been anything in any soft spots or one on the shoulder.
Yeah, luckily the batters are all right. But
2 have gotten away now in 2 consecutive batters.
As now it puts the tying run for Jamestown 90 feet away with Ben Lavorsi, the catcher, batting. That one is in the dirt, and that one will get to the wall, and the tying run will come in to score as Chase King crosses the plate to make it 3-3 between Jamestown and Amsterdam.
So we now have a new ball game here.
That was a very wild pitch. Bounced probably 3 feet in front of the plate. And Shane Muntz didn't really have a chance to try and knock it down as it was to his left. Now 1-0 count here to Lavorsi. Now runners on second and third. They represent go-ahead run on third. And more insurance on second base here. A base hit may score 2 as that one is in there. That one misses. And I'm not sure where it missed.
I'm going to go with low.
Yeah, I would probably say it must have missed low or maybe away. It's 2-0 now to Lavorsi. That pitch has seemed to have been called all night, that kind of away fastball. But now 2-0 count. Now Jamestown already it's tied it up at 3-3. That pitch misses away, and now it's 3-0 here to Lavorsi. And Petrosino is in danger of putting his 3rd straight batter on base without giving up a hit. Petrosino has the advantage to lefty-on-lefty matchup right now. The 3-0 is in there for a called strike. 3-1 now to Lavorsi.
That one was being taken all the way. He was not going to be swinging there. Bat was on his shoulder, so
yeah, is that certainly that's the call there. Still runners on second and third here. 3-1 count. That pitch misses inside, and now it'll reload the bases for the 8-hitter, Chris Rubottom. As now we'll see Doug O'Bray come out.
That might do it for him.
And it looks like, as we will have another pitching change here in the 6th. As the change kind of backfires here for O'Bray, as Petrosino has come on and has given up the tying run and has loaded the bases. As we'll see a righty come in now for Amsterdam. We'll get you the final line for Petrosino in just a minute. As we'll take a quick break here. You are listening to Game 1 of the PGCBL Finals, presented by KCG Development. Amsterdam brings on Tyler Stafflinger out of the New Jersey Institute of Technology to try and close out the bottom of the 6th here with it still a 3-3 tie as Jamestown has tied it on a wild pitch from Matt Petrosino. Petrosino comes on, gets 2 outs, but gives up the 1 run. So his playoff, as I think he only threw 1/3 inning, so now he has 1 full inning and 3 earned runs given up. As this will bring up the 8-hitter to face off against Stafflinger, Chris Rubottom, the designated hitter out of Wofford University.
And he is responsible for all 3 runs on the bases right now. So if any of them score, those will also be charged to Petrosino.
Stafflinger in 6 appearances, which includes 2 starts, 12 2/3 innings. As the first pitch in from him is in the dirt. Nice snag there from Munson. It'll be 1-0. As the go-ahead run is only 90 feet away in the form of Jeff Timko. As Timko is on third, Dalen Lee on second, Ben Lavorsi on first.
Stafflinger in the playoffs does have a scoreless inning of work.
The 1-0 is low, so it'll be 2-0 now here to Rubottom. Stafflinger mentioned in the regular season, 12 2/3 innings pitched, 12 hits given up, but only 4 runs. They're all earned. Walked 3, struck out 11. He was 2-0 with a 2.84 ERA. So some quality innings eaten up by the New Jersey Institute of Technology product. As that one misses low, it looked like, as that one was closer than the first 2. But now he falls behind 3-0 here to Rubottom and is 1 ball away from walking in the go-ahead run.
This umpire's strike zone has certainly gotten a little bit tighter as the Knights moved on.
And the 3-0 from Stafflinger is in there for a called strike, and that'll be 3-1. Rubottom has yet to be retired tonight. He's 1 for 1 with a walk. He singled his last time up, but was stranded at third.
He was also thrown out during a double play, but that was when he got on with a walk.
The 3-1 is in there for a called strike as Stafflinger has responded to the 3-0 count, coming back to make it full. As it will be a 3-2 count here, 2 outs. The merry-go-round will be in motion.
And once again, the Mohawks are 1 strike away from getting out of this 6th inning.
As they have been for the past now 3 straight batters. The 3-2 from Stafflinger is in there for a called strike 3. As Stafflinger comes on, gets the strikeout the Mohawks need, and we will head to the 7th inning. As in that inning, Jamestown does tie it up, however, as they score 1 run on 1 hit. There were no errors as they leave 3 on. As we head to the top of the 7th, your score, Amsterdam 3 and Jamestown 3. You are listening to Game 1 of the PGCBL Finals, presented by KCG Development. Isaac Meza, the relief pitcher for Jamestown, stays on to pitch the top of the 7th as he will face the 9-1 and 2 hitters in the order. It'll be Elvis Peralta Jr., Mike Antico, and Rick Rella. Peralta Jr. so far tonight is 0 for 2. He's grounded out to second twice as that one is cut on and fouled off into the mitt of Lavorsi, 0-1. Elvis finished up the season hitting .302 for Amsterdam, actually .304, and that includes 22 extra base hits as that one is bunted down to third. Nice play by Sterling Hayes will get Elvis Peralta Jr. by half a step for the first out. As that will bring up Antico, who is 1 for 3 so far tonight. Much of Mike going with the no socks pants look. Now switch up from his regular season threads as the lefty singled in his last at bat and came around to score on an RBI single by Michael Ludwig. As that run stands to be very important right now, as we are currently tied 3-3 between these two teams. First pitch into Antico is on the outside corner for a strike 0-1. Meza has come on and done a beautiful job here for Jamestown after they pulled their starter, Connor Ryan. Meza out of Cal State Bakersfield. That pitch is lifted down the right field line but will hook out of play. He'll be 0-2 now to Antico. As Amsterdam bats in the top of the 7th here. And, of course, they don't get last ups at Shuttleworth because Jamestown had the better record in the regular season. They got the 1 seed in the playoffs, and if they didn't have a scheduling conflict at Dietrich Park in Jamestown, we would be there right now. As that one misses high and away, it'll be 1-2 now to Antico. As we'll see how Meza will do in this inning and what Jamestown will counter with after this, I would expect this to maybe be his last inning of work. The 1-2 misses outside, as that will even it up at 2-2 here to Antico. As the Mohawks were set down quickly last inning, so they will try to make Meza work a little bit more to get his 3 outs in the top half of the 7th here. The 2-2 to Antico. That one is pop foul, and it'll hit the top of the grandstand and go over. He'll stay 2-2 here. As the Jammers playing in the infield straight up. In the outfield, a shade to the opposite field on the lefty Antico, who does like to go the other way. Sometimes he's put the ball in the air a little too much with his speed. The 2-2, that one is grounded down to the shortstop. O'Donnell throws on to first, and that'll be the second out. As that brings up Richie Barella. Barella out of Manhattan College is 1 for 2 with a walk so far tonight. He doubled and was thrown out at home trying to score on a tag up on a fly out in the top of the 3rd. His out at home ended the inning. And in his last at bat, he grounded out. As the first pitch into him misses high, it'll be 1-0. Barella hit .338 in the regular season. For much of the season, he was hitting upwards of .375, even close to .400. The 1-0 here to Barella. It will be grounded to the left side. Nice snag by O'Donnell. Tries to make a jump throw like Jeter, and they will get the out at first. As that was quite the throw from O'Donnell. And it doesn't look like Coach O'Bray will argue with the call, as it was a bang-bang play, but he gets the out. Beautiful web gem there from Alex O'Donnell out of Mercyhurst as we head to the 7th inning stretch here at Shuttleworth Park. Amsterdam and Jamestown knotted at 3. You're listening to Game 1 of the PGCBL Finals presented by KCG Development. Tyler Stafflinger stays on to pitch for Amsterdam as he will face off against the 9-hitter Brett Migliori to lead off the bottom of the 7th here at Shuttleworth Park. As Jamestown knotted 3-3 with Amsterdam, does have a chance to walk it off in this game even though we are in Amsterdam's home ballpark. The first pitch into Migliori is on the outside corner for a called strike, 0-1. The lefty Migliori is 1 for 2 so far tonight. He had an RBI single that made it 3-2 in the 5th. And he also grounded into a 4-6-3 double play as that one catches the outside corner. And it is 0-2 now to the second baseman out of Canisius College. As the wind has died down here, it has cooled down a bit, which is certainly very nice. It was in the mid-90s as that one is fouled off. Good job by Migliori there staying alive. That one chased him in on the hands. I'm surprised he didn't break his bat. As Stafflinger now works with a clean slate, as he came in last inning with the bases loaded and 2 outs. That one fouled off once again by Migliori. He'll still be 0-2. But Stafflinger fell behind to the 8-hitter. 3-0, as that one misses high and away. 1-2 now to Migliori. But I wanted to make sure I got his name right. Chris Rubottom, the 8-hitter, ahead 3-0 in the count. Stafflinger fought back to make it 3-2 and struck him out, looking to end the bottom of the 6th as that one is grounded on 2 hops to the second baseman. Allen throws on to first for the first out at the bottom of the 7th. As that'll bring up Alex O'Donnell out of Mercyhurst College. O'Donnell is 1 for 3 tonight. He singled, stole a base, and scored in the 4th. And he made a beautiful play in the top of the 7th inning to end it. As that one is fouled off, it'll be 0-1 to end the top of the 7th. He made a nice play ranging to his left. It might have been blocked on our broadcast by this pesky pole, but he made a jump throw, comparisons to the likes of Derek Jeter at short, as that curveball misses outside, evens it at 1-1 here to O'Donnell. Stafflinger dealing a little quicker here. That one on the inside corner for a called strike, 1-2. You could hear, I believe Coach Chris Dedulo, the pitching coach for Amsterdam, call down saying, come on, let's go, ramp it up, as the Mohawks saw success with Durant moving quickly in the first couple of innings, as that quick pitch is bounced on 2 hops to Tanner Allen. That's to charge it as O'Donnell tries to slide in to steal the base hit, but he cannot, as Allen has a second 4-3 put out of the inning. And there will be 2 gone for Sterling Hayes. Hayes, the high school senior, headed to, well, he's now a graduate, but he will be headed to Vanderbilt in about a month. He is 0 for 2 with the walk so far tonight, as that one is in there for a called strike, 0-1. As Stafflinger has started a couple of games this season for Amsterdam and has done a very solid job on the mound in those starts. I believe in those, I think he might have only given up 1 run over 7 innings. As that off-speed pitch misses low, it looked like he'll be 1-1 now to Hayes. And the 1-1 misses low once again, as Hayes is now ahead in the count, 2-1 here. Stafflinger continuing to work quickly against a Jamestown team that does not hit for a lot of power, but can quickly put a lot of runs on you if you let them get going and get the conveyor belt moving. As that one is grounded down to third base. Nice snag there by Justin Foscue on a hop. Handles the hard hit ball down to third and will get the 3rd ground ball out of the inning, as we will head to the 8th. 1-2-3 inning there for Tyler Stafflinger. You are listening to the PGCBL Finals, Game 1, here on the Amsterdam Mohawks Broadcast Network, presented by KCG Development. Your score, Amsterdam 3, Jamestown 3. New pitcher in for Jamestown here in the top of the 8th. It will be number 18, Colin Johnston, out of Tusculum College. He will be a sophomore there, or was a sophomore there, excuse me. And he is actually from Rochester, New York, so that's where his New York roots come from, playing for Jamestown in the Summer League here, as it'll be the 3, 4, 5 hitters for Amsterdam due up in the top of the 8th. Ludwig, Allen, and Muntz. First pitch into Ludwig misses low and inside, 1-0. Johnston's regular season numbers, as we take a look here. He made 16 appearances. He started 2 games as that one was fouled off at the plate. It'll be 1-1 to Ludwig. 16 appearances, 2 starts. He threw 24 2/3 innings, gave up 29 hits and 15 runs. Only 10 of them were earned. As he walked 8 and struck out 20, he was 2-1 with a 3.64 ERA to go with, as he had 1 save on the year. I also had to find that one, excuse me. And the 2-1 misses high, so now it'll be 3-1 here to Ludwig. As Mike in his last at-bat got his first hit of the playoffs. He's now 1 for 3 on the day. That was an RBI single that scored Mike Antico. The 3-1 is on the inside corner for a called strike. It'll be 3-2, and Ludwig was about to head to first base. Not too happy with the call, but he'll step back in with the full count now and nobody out. Top of the 8th inning here, still knotted at 3. The 3-2, that one is ripped down the left field line, but it'll be foul. As Ludwig got good wood on the ball there, but could not straighten it out. Mike out of Wake Forest hit .338 in the regular season for Amsterdam. As he faces off against Johnson here, the 3-2 is on the inside corner for a called strike 3. And that'll be the first out at the top of the 8th. As that'll bring up Tanner Allen, the second baseman out of Mississippi State. Allen is 0 for 3 at the plate tonight, as he has popped out, flown out, and grounded out. And there was a point where we thought he would have to come out of the game as he was cleated at second base, as that curveball misses low and inside, 1-0 by Brandon Nania, but he has stayed in, toughed it out, and seems to be all right now.
That being said, Allen is 0 for 3 on the night, so
1-0 misses outside. It'll
maybe
be
something
2-0.
a little bit off there, as it's rare for Allen to have an 0 for, although he does have a chance right here to make that all change.
Yeah, as usually he tries to get at least on base once in his first 3 at-bats, as that one misses inside. It's a 3-0 count here to the Mississippi State Bulldog, with Shane Muntz sitting on deck. Amsterdam in rare territory, as it's the top of the 8th here at Shuttleworth Park. They have to try and score, as that one misses high and away, and Tanner Allen will be on with a 1-out walk here, as we will see a trip to the mound from head coach Anthony Barone. And we'll have, it doesn't look like a pitching change, but we'll have a quick conference on the mound between the Jammers' battery mates and their head coach Barone, as Allen on first base chats with Nania, and it looks like Nania might have been talking to him, just saying that, like, hey man, I didn't want to, I wasn't trying to hurt you when you slid in there, as that was Allen's first time on base. So that was probably good. That was probably some good sportsmanship shared there. So that's good to see. As we'll have the home plate umpire come out to try and break up the conference on the mound. As it'll bring up Shane Muntz out of Wake Forest.
This is actually the Mohawks' first base runner since the 5th inning now.
It's actually, I just realized this is a Carousel off of Travis Scott's new album, so there you go. For any rap fans out there. As Muntz stepping up to the plate with a runner on first and 1 out. He's 1 for 3 so far tonight. That one hit is a solo home run over the left field wall, as that pitch misses away. 1-0 here to the catcher. Shane has played several positions and has done quite a bit for the Mohawks this season on both the mound, behind the plate, and as a designated hitter. But he could do the biggest thing here, trying to score the go-ahead run, as that one has popped up. Lavorsi taking a look at it, but it will get just out of play on top of the grandstand. And that'll be 1-1 now to Muntz. As Muntz with 10 RBIs in the playoffs so far on 5 hits has absolutely raked after finishing out the regular season. As we have a long pause here from the pitcher Johnston, who now sets. Deals the 1-1. That one is ripped high and deep into left field. Chase King giving chase. That ball is caught at the wall by King as he almost ran out of room, but he was hit a little too high by Shane Muntz as King lined it up, and that'll be the second out as Muntz just missed that one.
And Tanner Allen there had to scramble back to first base there.
Yeah, as if the ball was off of the glove or off the wall. Now we have a second mound visit, which means a pitching change here with Joe Genord stepping to the plate with a runner on first and 2 out. As we will see Johnston exit after 0.2 innings pitched, or 2/3 of an inning pitched. He will be responsible for Allen at first, as we will see the new pitcher. It looks like number 20 or number 28 on Jamestown. They don't have a number 20, so I think it's 28, Ryan Boyer out of Pitt Bradford College, University of Pittsburgh, Bradford. And Boyer has seen action, I believe. Yep, and that's who is announced. Boyer, who in 19 regular season appearances has 25 innings pitched, 19 hits, 7 runs, but only 4 of them were earned. He walked 6 and struck out 37 as a relief pitcher, which is insane. Over only 25 innings, as he is 4-0 with a 1.44 ERA, as he leads is tied for the Jammers' lead in wins on the mound, as he also has 7 saves, which leads the Jammers, as he would probably be described as their best bullpen arm.
Boyer does have 3 innings pitched during this postseason. He let up 1 earned run on 4 hits, but he did pitch, looks like he went 3 innings in 2 appearances. So
over the playoffs.
During the playoffs, yeah.
And did he give up any hits in those innings?
4 hits. So 1 earned run on 4 hits, 1 walk.
Over 2 innings.
Over 2 innings.
Over 2 innings. So his
over 3 innings, 2 appearances.
Okay, there we go. So 3 innings, 1 earned run. So his ERA currently in the playoffs is 3 flat, as the righty comes in here to face off against Joe Genord. Genord on the night is 2 for 3. He had a solo home run as a part of a back-to-back jack with Shane Muntz. He also singled in the 4th and lined out in the 6th, so he's hit every ball tonight pretty hard. Genord, the South Florida Bull, a Lake Worth, Florida native. As he steps up, as he'll probably go down after the season almost certainly as the Mohawks' most prolific hitter ever. Leads them all time in home runs and RBIs, as he's broken both of those records this season. That first pitch to Genord is fouled off, and it will be snagged by the first baseman Nania back in foul territory, 0-1. As Boyer looks to come on here in the 8th and hold on to this tie between Jamestown and Amsterdam. as Jamestown still has 6 outs to work with as the home team in this game 1, even though we're at Shuttleworth Park. The 0-1 is fouled right off to the backstop by Genord. He'll be 0-2. As Boyer is now ahead in the count, I would expect him to waste the next pitch, maybe a curveball off the plate. We'll see how he attacks Genord here. On deck is Justin Foscue, the third baseman of Mississippi State. The 0-2 is cut on and missed by Genord, as Boyer comes on and gets the out that Jamestown needed, as we will head to the bottom of the 8th here at Shuttleworth Park. In that inning, no runs on 1 hit. There were no errors as 1 was left on. Your score headed into the bottom of the 8th. Amsterdam 3, Jamestown 3. You're listening to Game 1 of the PGCBL Finals presented by KCG Development. Tyler Stafflinger stays on to pitch the bottom of the 8th here for Amsterdam, as he will face off against the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the Jammers order. As we are knotted at 3 between these two teams in Game 1 of the PGCBL Finals, as Chase King, who made a nice catch at the wall, as Shane Muntz gave one a ride but couldn't get the go-ahead run. As that one catches the inside corner, it'll be 0-1 to King, who so far tonight is 1 for 2 as he doubled and scored on a wild pitch in his, 2 innings ago. And he also has a sacrifice fly on the day, so he has 1 RBI and 1 run scored. It'll be 0-2 here to King, who fouled that one off. That one is ripped between the hole at first and second for a base hit by the lefty. As that will bring up the 4-hitter, Brandon Nania. Playing first base tonight, as now we have the Jammers huddling up, as you usually don't see this. Usually when you see a pitching mound visit, you're allowed to do that. And it looks like they'll actually have maybe a pinch runner. Maybe that's why he's allowed to do this, as I think that's exactly what may happen. Well, actually, no. We'll have King head back out there. As I'm kind of surprised that the umpires let him do that, as I don't know if that's actually how that rule should go. I don't think you're allowed to huddle up and call for time as a third base coach with his runners. You're supposed to just send down signs.
The offense huddling up. We'll see if they call a play action or a run.
As the check of the runner at first, and he's back in there safely. Yeah, I don't know. They could go with the option play.
Always deadly.
Deadly. We don't got Cam Newton at the plate, but Nania has certainly been deadly with the bat in these playoffs, as his on-base percentage continues to climb. That one bunted down the first base line, as Stafflinger will have to chase after, and it'll actually be the first baseman Varela who waits on it and will get the out, but that allows King to head down to second. So the sacrifice bunt there by Nania puts the go-ahead run in scoring position with 1 out, and Jeff Timko coming up.
So they decide to go for the sacrifice bunt there for the first out, move the runner over.
Which is, I mean, it's not good for Nania to see that he has that range as a player, but it's a little surprising to me just because he's one of your best hitters right now. Maybe just trying to take away the chance of a double play too there. As now we have a timeout called by Coach Doug O'Bray. He'll head out to talk with Tyler Stafflinger.
Doug O'Bray literally just called a timeout. I heard him say it.
Yeah, well, usually you hear a timeout. You have the coaches call for timeout, but it's so quiet here now as we're approaching the end of the second hour and start of the third hour. We're at 9:45, so we've been playing for almost 3 hours here in the bottom of the 8th of Game 1 of the PGCBL Finals, presented by KCG Development, building better homes by building better communities. As now everyone will head back to their respective places. Chase King, the center fielder out of the University of Texas San Antonio, on second, with Jeff Timko out of Eastern Michigan University at the plate. 1 out. Tyler Stafflinger on the rubber for Amsterdam, trying to hold this game in a 3-3 tie. First pitch into Timko. Curveball misses high. 1-0. As Jamestown has showed the entire season how good they are at manufacturing runs even without extra base hits. The 1-0 into Timko is cut on and fouled off. It'll be a 1-1, as the home plate umpire didn't even make a try it, showing that was foul. That was kind of annoying.
If I'm King there, I'm running.
Yeah, I'm running, trying to show that you didn't do the right thing there. But I mean, he would have sent him back regardless. But now 1-1 count here to Timko. As the Eastern Michigan Eagle looks to continue his hot hitting in the playoffs here for Jamestown. That 1-1 is on the outside corner for a called strike 2. As Stafflinger gets ahead in the count. 1 out. There is a base open, but I'm sure Stafflinger would like to try and get Timko here just for the second out without trying to force the issue and put another runner on base. The 1-2. That curveball is chopped foul as Timko just stays alive. Nice job there by the left fielder. Timko at the plate tonight is 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat, but was stranded on third as the go-ahead run. After Tyler Stafflinger fell behind 3-0 to the 8-hitter Rubottom, but came back to strike him out to end the 7th. Now pitching in the 8th. That one is flown foul down the right field line. He'll hook out play. He'll stay 1-2. As Stafflinger working his now 6th batter, as this will be, he's thrown an inning in 2/3 officially, but working in his 3rd inning as he came in for the final out of the 6th. Excuse me, I misspoke there. Final out of the 6th had a 1-2-3 inning in the 7th. That one grounded foul. Almost a nice bare hand by the Jamestown Jammers head coach, but he could not make the snag. That was Anthony Barone.
That'll be an error charge to Anthony there.
Error, and actually that one he might not be at third base. It might actually be Hayden Carter. But I believe that's Barone at third. As Stafflinger still waits for his sign, the set, and the pitch, the 1-2, fouled off once again by Timko. That one hits off of one of the posts holding up the net behind home plate. As Timko puts together once again another quality at-bat against Amsterdam pitching. As in his last at-bat, he was hit by that pitch when facing off against Petrosino in the 6th. As Stafflinger taking his time holding the ball here, trying to keep King close at second, I believe. Now he sets, and now we'll have time by the home plate umpire, look like. Timko will step out. And we have a couple of little shouts here and there, but it's mostly quiet here at the ballpark. There's still a good amount of people here, probably a couple hundred at least. The 1-2 misses high. That'll even it up at 2-2.
As I think the air's just sort of been sucked out of the stadium as the past couple innings have been dry as far as no runs being scored, but also the hometown away team, Amsterdam Mohawks, have suffered a comeback.
As that 2-2 curveball is in there for a called strike 3, and that'll be the second out of the inning. As that will bring up Dalen Lee out of University of California, Irvine. Lee so far tonight is 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch, though, in his last at-bat and was stranded at second base. Lee with 2 outs and runners on first and second tried to bunt his way on at first in that last at-bat, but ended up being hit by a pitch anyways. The first pitch in from Stafflinger is fouled off of the foot of the batter, and now King tries to chase for third, and now we have the home plate umpire making a foul call. I think he needs to learn that that's something you need to do immediately. It'll be 0-1 here to Lee. Dalen Lee will be a junior at UC Irvine this year, as he hit .298 in the regular season, 28 for 94 for Jamestown. As that one is cut out and missed, though, by Lee, and Stafflinger is 1 strike away from getting out of the inning.
UC Irvine has to be a top 10 mascot in the country there. I believe they're the Anteaters.
Yeah, the Anteaters, that's really cool.
That's got to be top 10 nationwide.
We'll say, I mean, there are some really good ones out there, I will say. As the 0-2 here from Stafflinger is grounded. That will be through the hole for a base hit. Coming up throwing is Michael Ludwig. The throw to the plate, and they will get the runner at home, and that will be the third out of the inning on the assist from Michael Ludwig. As the throw had to be good coming in on target, Shane Muntz fields it cleanly. They get Chase King at home, and we will head to the 9th, tied at 3. You are listening here as we have Anthony Barone, the head coach, talking with the home plate umpire. He doesn't seem too annoyed by that, but maybe he's trying to get runner interference called. As now we'll have Jamestown take the field here for the top of the 9th warm-ups. In that inning for Jamestown, no runs on 1 hit, or 2 hits. As now we have the home plate, or all the umpires meeting. Right now it's no runs on 2 hits.
It's a little late for them to take.
Yeah, I feel like this is, as Coach Doug O'Bray and Coach Greg Cristodulo look on, as I'm not sure what they are thinking of calling here. That was, I don't know if you can really call that. Now, as runner interference, I feel like that has to be called immediately. That's a little, you can't really go back on replay. We aren't in the MLB, but we'll see what the call is here from the home plate umpires. That was a huge play. Big throw in from Michael Ludwig. And they call it an out, confirmed. So we will head to the 9th here at Shuttleworth Park, knotted at 3. You're listening to Game 1 of the PGCBL Finals, presented by KCG Development. Top of the 9th here at Shuttleworth Park. 3-3 tie between the Jamestown Jammers and Amsterdam Mohawks through 8. Amsterdam will bat in the top of the 9th as they are the away team, as Jamestown had the better record in the regular season. Because of the scheduling conflict at Dietrich Park, they will have a chance to walk it off in the 9th, so to speak, regardless of whether or not Amsterdam scores. Of course, we'll have to see what happens in the 9th. But it will be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters due up for Amsterdam. It will be Foscue, Hammond, and Peralta, as Ryan Boyer stays out there to pitch for Jamestown, trying to hold this game in a 3-3 tie, as that one is cut out and missed by Foscue, 0-1. And the last out of the inning was on a throw home from Michael Ludwig to get Chase King for the 3rd out. And if he, of course, if he doesn't get that out there, they score the go-ahead run. And the Mohawks would be down to their last 3 outs right now, no matter what. As that one is cut on and missed by Foscue. And he's quickly behind 0-2 to Boyer, who certainly, that one shown at 90 miles per hour, certainly has some more velocity than the other Jamestown pitchers that have come in so far tonight.
Yeah, that play at the plate there, I think they were possibly arguing that Shane Munson didn't apply the tag in time. But it looked...
As that one is flown foul into the Mohawks bullpen as Foscue stays alive.
And we back here didn't have a great angle to judge that, but it looked pretty definitive. So
yeah, he did
something up the line.
He definitely got him. I think if anything, they were trying to say that Justin Foscue was actually blocking Chase King's base path coming around 3rd. And I don't know. They went back to talk about it. I feel like that wouldn't have been too fair of a call to flip once you make that call. That's something you kind of got spot as an umpire ahead of time. But either way, they kept the call that they had at first and out at home. As now Foscue bats here, and the Mohawks try to push a run across in the top of the 9th, as they'll have to try and win it with pitching in the bottom half, as that one misses away. It's 1-2.
And we'll have to see the Mohawks' regular 9th inning man, Ryan McClinsky, not here today.
Yeah,
right?
and neither is Teddy Sabato out of Manhattan College. So there are 2 arms automatically not there. I would probably guess Blake Espinal maybe in the back end of the bullpen. We also might see Matt Gonzalez out of Herkimer College. The 1-2 to Foscue is cut on and missed as the Mississippi State Bulldog goes down for the 1st out of the 9th inning. And that'll bring up Jake Hammond, the lefty, out of Morehead State University. Hammond so far tonight is 1 for 3. Singled in his first at-bat and has since grounded out and flown out. Elvis Peralta Jr. stands on deck as they'll both get at least a crack at Boyer here as the Mohawks try to get any base runners to try and push across a run here in the top of the 9th. As the first pitch misses low and inside to Hammond, 1-0. As the Mohawks, of course, are in uncharted territory here at Shuttleworth because they've never had to try and score a run before pitching to close out a game in the bottom of the 9th. As that one was in there for, or excuse me, that one was in there for a strikeout, or 1-1 now. As Boyer sets and deals the 1-1 to Hammond. Pitch is on the outside corner, and Boyer is ahead 1-2. And now they're saying, and it should be, I believe, 2-1 is what he's saying. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was thinking of at first, but. And 2-1 now to Hammond. That pitch misses outside, and now it's 3-1 to the Morehead State Golden Eagle. The left fielder had a phenomenal second half for the Amsterdam Mohawks, same as his fellow corner outfielder Michael Ludwig, as those positions got hot certainly in the last 24 for Amsterdam. And Jake scored the winning run to give the Mohawks the win in the opening round game against Albany. The 3-1 misses high and away, and Jake will be on here with 1 out, representing the go-ahead run. And we've seen this movie before, but in the bottom of the 9th, not the top.
As in the top of the the bottom of the ninth of that Albany game. I believe Jake Hammond also got on with a walk and was able to work all the way around using Peralta, Antico, and finally Barella. Barella was up when a wild pitch was thrown.
Yes, Hammond made it to second, not on a stolen base in his first at-bat, but he might actually look to swipe one here, though, of course, trying to force the issue just because the Mohawks already have 2 stolen bases on Lavorsi already tonight. Elvis Peralta Jr. at the plate. First pitch is swung on and missed by Peralta, 0-1.
Elvis has been strikeout prone all year for the Mohawks, countering it with his signature triple and
yeah, so a lot of triples, 7 home runs on the season, 10 doubles, 5 triples, 22 extra base hits. He's grounded out 3 times tonight, however, 0 for 3. The 0-1 from Boyer. Misses high and away. It'll be 1-1.
Plate discipline lately has been much better out of Elvis. I think he had 2 walks in a night, which is something he hadn't really done before. And that was... He walked once and only struck out once in the Albany game, but it was the Watertown game where he just walked twice.
And the 1-1 into Elvis. Misses high and away. It'll be 2-1. This is interesting to see from Boyer, and of course, the entire Jammer staff does not walk a lot of batters. Boyer, for example, in 25 innings pitched in the regular season, only walked 6 all year. And he's already walked 1. He's fallen behind 2-1 here to Peralta Jr. And now there will be a conference between Lavorsi and his pitcher, Boyer.
I don't know if this is just nerves heading into a championship game, even though the championship game might not mean as much as an NCAA or anything like that, it's still a championship game with something on the line, something to prove. So.
Absolutely, and it's certainly great to be able to try and get the win. I mean, nobody enjoys losing if if you want to be a successful person. That's really the name of the game, as everyone's just trying to improve each and every at-bat, every single pitch. As the Pitt Bradford product out of Bradford, Pennsylvania, Boyer pitches to Elvis Peralta Jr. out of Marshall University. The 2-1. Cut on and missed by Peralta Jr. It'll be 2-2 now. As Elvis, and now with a 2-2 count, I wouldn't expect Hammond to be going. I don't think they would want to end the inning with a strike him out, throw him out. Hammond taking a modest lead away from first. The 2-2 from Boyer. Misses high and away as Lavorsi loses it for a second, but Hammond at first stays put. And now it'll be a full count here to Peralta Jr. On deck, the leadoff hitter, Mike Antico.
We'll see. Usually we see the Mohawks get a bunch of base runners on at once, but that's only happened twice so far this game, as their other runs have come off of solo home runs.
The payoff from Boyer. Cut on and missed on a high fastball, as that will be the second out of the inning. As Antico strides to the plate. Mike so far tonight is 1 for 4. He's singled and ended up scoring, as now we'll have a mound visit from the head coach, Anthony Barone, for Jamestown. As I don't think we'll see a pitching change or anything like that, but we'll see the battery mates meet up here with their head coach, as Antico will bat with Jake Hammond on first.
Jake Hammond there did go to the correct huddle, something that we might have been concerned about as he's a Jamestown.
Yes, he's a former Jamestown Jammer from last season, but he's certainly done a great job here for Amsterdam this season, and tonight he's already 1 for 3 of the walk. Mike Antico, in the regular season, he started off very hot for Amsterdam, but he ended up cooling off a good amount, unfortunately, as he ended up only hitting .239 in 142 at-bats. But he did have 6 extra base hits, 3 doubles, a triple, and 2 home runs. As he also had 11 RBIs to go with 21 walks.
He is, however, batting around.
And the check of Hammond at first, and that ball gets away. Hammond will try and scamper to second base, and he will get there safely, as he almost overslides second in excitement. as the Mohawks now have a runner in scoring position here. As that was a bad misplay by Nania at first base. It looked like the throw was kind of in the dirt. Bad throw over from Boyer, but Nania just couldn't handle it. Ended up misplaying the ball. Passed him, rolled far enough away where Hammond was able to read it.
That was an aggressive run by Hammond as he that didn't get too far away. It was still probably just at the edge of the dirt up the foul line.
As that would probably be an E1 on the throw. First pitch into Antico is a called strike, 0-1. Jake Hammond on second. He would love to be able to get to score the go-ahead run against his former team, I'm sure. Playing Antico to pull here. The 0-1. That one is fouled off by Mike. And the St. John's product is down 0-2 in the count here with 2 outs in the top of the ninth. Go-ahead run on second base, 180 feet away. Jake Hammond with good speed would probably score on a base hit, depending on where it would go to. The 0-2 from Boyer to Antico. Misses high. Nice snag there by the catcher, Lavorsi, to keep that from going to the backstop. It'll be 1-2. Amsterdam all season has lived on the edge, especially at home. We've seen 2 walk-off hits in the ninth. We won't be able to see at least a walk-off by Amsterdam tonight because Jamestown is the home team officially, but we're still in Shuttleworth Park. The 1-2 from Boyer. Misses high and away, and that evens at 2-2.
It'll be interesting to see if any Amsterdam fans get fooled by it, if the Mohawks do score in the top of any of these innings moving forward, if we do go to extras.
Yeah.
If some Mohawk fans think that we've walked off.
Yeah, it won't be. It's certainly not sudden death once you get into extras. The 2-2, cut on and missed by Antico as Boyer gets the out that Jamestown needs as we will head to the bottom of the ninth here at Shuttleworth Park. Jamestown looks to win Game 1 here at the PGCBL Finals. You are listening to Game 1 of the PGCBL Finals presented by KCG Development. It looks like Tyler Stafflinger will stay on to pitch the bottom of the ninth here for Amsterdam as they face off against the 7, 8, and 9 hitters in Jamestown's lineup. Leading off the bottom of the ninth will be Ben Lavorsi, the catcher out of St. Louis. Ben so far tonight is 0 for 1. He has walked twice and has struck out. First pitch into him misses high, 1-0.
And no matter the outcome tonight, we'd like to thank you for joining us. We know it's late on a Monday night here, and so the over 100 of you that listened in on our broadcast, we thank you.
As the pitch into Lavorsi's cut on and missed, evens at 1-1. Ben also scored in his second at-bat when he walked in the 5th. as that was on an RBI single by the 9-hitter. As that one misses low, it'll be 2-1. Excuse me, that was the 9-hitter Migliori. Two and 1 here from Stafflinger. Misses high and away. And it's 3-1 now to Lavorsi.
Nobody really going in the bullpen here for the Mohawks. It looks like somebody may be getting up, but this looks to be Stafflinger's inning, at least for the time being.
Yes, Coach Chris Dulo for Amsterdam, the pitching coach, goes back and says a couple of things to a couple of guys. That one is fouled off of our press box.
Ouch.
As it didn't make a loud bang, but it did hit our press box, so Bob Malicki gives us an ouch. And now Stafflinger's bounced back to run the count full at 3-2. Payoff pitch to Lavorsi. Misses high, and he is on here with the leadoff walk. As even though we're at Shuttleworth Park, Jamestown is the home team, so they can walk it off. As that will bring up the 8-hitter, Chris Rubottom, the designated hitter at Wofford University. Rubottom so far tonight is 1 for 2. He singled and walked tonight as well as struck out in his last at-bat. As the Mohawks are fully expecting the sacrifice bunt here. That bunt is popped up. It will get over towards the Mohawks dugout, and it'll be 0-1 here. As they have the full wheel going. Elvis Peralta Jr. at standing on second base still. It'll be interesting to see if Rubottom may try to pull it back. I mean, as now Elvis moves over.
I'm curious to see if the Mohawks are going to try and go for 2 here, even with the bunt.
Yeah, or at least try and get the lead runner. Lavorsi can run solid as they try and check him at first, but he gets back in there safely.
And he's still lying on the ground. Is he?
Yes, he's waiting. I think he was just waiting for the throw to go back. He didn't want to get tagged out, as that would certainly not be the best thing for the catcher, who's only 2 for 3 on the base paths this season on a team that leads the league in stolen bases, so he doesn't have great speed. The 0-1, that bunt is fouled, so it'll be 0-2 now to Rubottom. So Stafflinger has thrown the pitches that you need, and for the Mohawks, it will be interesting to see whether or not Rubottom will bunt here on 0-2, as Shane Muntz comes out to talk to his infield as well as his pitcher.
I wasn't really a mound visit as much as a...
Yeah, more of just a setting once again of the defense. As they talk, we'll see what the signs are from the third base coach, Anthony Barone, for Jamestown. On deck is the 9-hitter, Brett Migliori, the second baseman. The 0-2, he is not bunting. That one is fouled off. He'll get out of play. So it looks like they're going to let Rubottom swing. As the Mohawks are in bad need of either a strikeout or a ground ball. The 0-2. That one is punched through the hole on the right side for a base hit. Stopping at second is Lavorsi. As now that puts runners on second and first with still nobody out. We have Coach Doug O'Bray now coming out to talk with Stafflinger. I think we might see a pitching change or maybe at least a stall here for a second.
As it's a lefty.
And we'll get a lefty. I think it's Blake Espinal. As we'll have this pitching change here. We'll take a short break. You're listening to Game 1 of the PGCBL Finals presented by KCG Development. The new pitcher on for Amsterdam will be Blake Espinal out of Seton Hall University. The lefty on the season has done very well out of the pen, pretty much the second best relief pitcher.
We'll also have a pinch runner here in for Lavorsi, the catcher.
As I'm not
It'll
sure
be
who,
number 27.
number 27, as it will.
Renee Pfeiffer.
Yep, it'll be end up being Renee Pfeiffer out of Cal State Northridge. Pfeiffer on the season on the base paths. As we look over here, he has two stolen bases. He hasn't been caught stealing, so he's shown that he can swipe a bag. I don't know if they'll try and push the envelope here with that, but it still gives them good speed with the, of course, the winning run on second, just 180 feet away, with the 9-hitter, Brett Migliori up.
Jamestown trying to win this one now, taking out their starting catcher. Something that you don't see a lot in the pros.
As the lefty Espinal faces off against the lefty Migliori. Infield's in as they check the runner, but he will get back in safely at second standing. Migliori at the plate is 1 for 3 so far today with an RBI single. Infield in, yep, you mentioned.
Infield's in, looking for a bunt or at least a force.
And they will try and bunt here. That one is in there for a called strike 0-1 as it was pulled back by Migliori.
As Elvis pretends to be a first baseman over at third base, giving his best stretch impression.
As Espinal in the season had 13 appearances, 24 1/3 innings. The 0-1 here. Ooh, that one high and inside as the second baseman Migliori has to duck out of the way. It'll be 1-1. It'll be 1-1. Nope, right? He did not. It's 1-1.
Okay.
As the scoreboard is wrong. But in 24 2/3 innings, he gave up 16 hits and 9 runs. All of them were earned. He walked 10 and struck out 29. He ended up 1-0 with a 3.29 ERA as they check the runner at second once again.
Yeah, they don't want Pfeiffer to get too much of a lead where Peralta's not able to get over to third in the event of a bunt up the third baseline.
Yeah, as they try and they try their best to get the lead runner. The 1-1. As that one misses off the plate. It'll be 2-1 now to the batter, Migliori. As Richie Brella stays about 2/3 of the way up the infield grass. Justin Foskey looking to charge two. The 2-1 as he looks to bunt. That one misses low and away, and now it's 3-1 here to Migliori.
Outfield with the runner on second is only deep as far as they can throw as well. Anything over their heads is going to likely score the run anyways if he gets down.
– 3-1 count here to the second baseman out of Canisius College, Migliori. And he looks to bunt, but it will be a walk here, and we'll see the bases loaded with nobody out for the leadoff hitter, Alex O'Donnell. As Jamestown with their best chance all night to score. And now we'll see an outfield and infield shift. Jake Hammond actually coming in now as a 5th infielder, it looks like. As he shifted up the middle. O'Donnell batting here with the bases loaded and nobody out. He's 1 for 4 so far tonight. He singled, stole a base, and scored in the 4th. The first pitch misses high as Muntz had to snag that one. That one almost gave them the game right there. It'll be 1-0. As Espinal needs to try and settle down and try and at least throw strikes here, as they were worried about having the 9-hitter Migliori bunt, but now they've given him the base anyways. The 1-0 misses high, and it's 2-0 now.
Espinal now in danger of walking in that last run. Something you'd never want to see, the walk-off walk to end it.
2-0 count. We saw Stafflinger fall behind 3-0 tonight already with the bases loaded, and he came back to strike out the batter, but that was with 2 outs. That one cut on and missed by O'Donnell. He'll be 2-1 now to the shortstop out of Mercyhurst College. As now we'll have a quick meeting at the mound between Shane Muntz and Espinal. Shane tries to give him some words of encouragement. 5 infielders here. We have 2 outfielders, so I mean, you try and stop base hit up the middle, but even a fly ball to center field ends it.
It's certainly not a call you see very often, bringing in the 5th infielder.
Yeah, we saw it against Albany, I believe, early in the season. We saw it against the team early in the season. It worked for them. They did it a second time, and then the Mohawks scored base hit. The 2-1. That one is fouled off, and it went through the light there, and that evens it up at 2-2. Espinal needs to make the pitch of the season here for Amsterdam.
Just keep their hopes alive, let alone get out of this inning.
Yeah. On deck is the 2-hitter Sterling Hayes. Bases loaded, nobody out. The 2-2. That one is ripped up the middle, and that will end it as the Jamestown Jammers walk off, as they had to wait for the runner to score, as they will mob Alex O'Donnell, who hits a walk-off RBI single, as Jamestown takes this one here at Shuttleworth Park by the score of 4-3. As this was a very valiantly played game by Amsterdam in a home but not home game, as they were the away team. As Jamestown takes this one 4-3, we will be back here tomorrow night for Game 2 with Amsterdam as the home team, with the playoffs still presented by KCG Development. Once again, Jamestown walks this one off, RBI single by Alex O'Donnell. They also use RBI singles from Brett Migliori. The winning run is scored by Rain Pfeiffer. As on the Mohawk side of things, they had solo home runs from Shane Muntz and Joe Genord to go along with an RBI single by Michael Ludwig for their 3 runs. As we will see these teams meet once again tomorrow, as Jamestown is 1 win away from clinching their first PGCBL championship. For everyone here at the Amsterdam Mohawks and for my partner Justin Cohen, this is Adam Agresta saying thank you all for tuning in tonight. Catch us tomorrow for Game 2, same time, same place. Thank you all. Have a wonderful night.